All right, this time I've made sure that my microphone is turned on for the stream, which from what I hear is somewhat important. So, learning experience is off the way. We should be live and good to go. Got my chat pulled up. That's weird. When you go to the upload, it's like bright white and everything, and then when you pop out the chat, it goes back to dark mode. That's the kind of thing you expect from a multi-billion-dollar Skynet conglomeration like Google. That's the kind of quality I expect from YouTube. Alrighty, so everybody is going to be filing in. Got everything popped out. We're waiting on Fritanga Plays to get in here. He's resetting Discord. My Discord was messing up until I restarted. So we can...
Yeah, my Discord's been messing up too.
Oh yeah, it was weird. It wouldn't let me do really anything. Nobody was showing up. I couldn't send messages. Then I restarted it, and like 99% of all problems, that fixed it. So, by the way, The Evil Within 2 is quite good. So, I'm glad that it is doing very positively on Steam, because it is a pretty darn good game. My Steam review... What did I say on my Steam review? It was... I said, yes, one person found it helpful. It is Resident Evil 7 meets The Last of Us, is what I called it.
Right.
It's quite good.
All right.
I mean, for me, I think it's more of a timing problem. There are other games that I was just initially more interested in playing. So even if I find out that it's good, I would still rather wait, just because South Park comes out in like 4 days. So that's the first one on my list.
Huh, come to think of it, there haven't been any games that I anticipate in the coming years. Gonna see what kind of games coming.
Well, that's the thing. I try not to look that far ahead. I look like the week of, and if a game is good, then I go for it, because I set myself up for failure when I look for games in the future that are coming out, and I hype them up more than they need to be. Then they come out, and it turns out that they're pay to win, or they're just bad, or they're not optimized.
Yeah, I learned that lesson a long time ago with Destiny. That was the game that really ended it for me, getting hyped for anything. I hate that game so fucking much.
Witness May sent $10, and we haven't even gotten to the meat and bones of the stream, thanks to Fritanga. I had to drop my Patreon sub, but here's some shekels because Chrome told me where you live. Well, thanks so much. Gotcha. Witness May, $10. Thanks very much. Let me see. We're just gonna give Fritanga just another minute here. And I probably shouldn't be showing my Twitter feed, because sometimes people tweet things that are inappropriate. But
today, on purpose.
Sometimes it's a little... European game rating by ESRB. I got my Wikipedia thing pulled up. Should be an interesting discussion. It's certainly topical. Certainly topical.
I think it's an issue that really needs to be sorted out legally very soon, because as of right now, it's a big part of the business model for the most profitable entertainment industry in the world. And yet, it's still basically unlegislated in any country. It's really odd.
You know, I have this tweet from somebody who used to work in like an MMORPG of some sort, and it's actually very interesting, his perspective. I'll try to share it on the Discord. I'll share the general chat. Here it is.
All right, let me see. So I turned up the mic a little bit I had it at 70, so I turned it to 80. Hopefully that'll be good too.
Apparently I'm too loud, which, okay.
Well, that's what they're saying in the chat. For everybody.
Right.
But I'd prefer we get
I am more balanced. I am a lot more balanced, actually.
Weeb sent $10 to tell me to turn my mic up, so maybe I should keep it down until a few other people send some shekels my way. Well, we're going to go ahead and get started. Fritanga, I'm sure that he will be filing in whenever he figures out just how it's done. Give me updates on the give me updates on how the sound turns out.
Yep.
So, where shall we start?
Fringy is super loud.
He is?
Yeah, that's what they're all saying. Apparently I'm peaking, but I'm just speaking in my normal voice, so I'm not sure what's going on. Well, let me turn my volume down on my end. Oh,
You're
you did?
crackling now. I don't know why.
Yeah, that's very strange. I turned you down for me, but that's all right. We will update it as things go along. Kyle Daubert sent
Give me a
$10. Love your content, Rex. Keep up the great work. I will, and I'll do it with my buddies here. Speaking of which, I am here with Appabend and Fringy, and Fritanga hopefully will be on the way. Bulletberry's probably going to be a no-show. He said he probably
you
You're
did?
crackling now. I don't know why.
Yeah, that's very strange. I turned you down for me, but that's all right. We will update it as things go along. Now I can hear me dialing in whenever he figures out just how
Somebody's
it's done.
echoing.
Give me
What's
updates
going on?
the give me updates on how the sound turns out. How come I can hear myself?
Yep.
Now so
Yeah, I
where
just said
shall we
that.
start?
Fringy is super loud.
He is.
Yeah, that's what they're all saying.
What am I hearing?
Apparently
Yeah,
I'm
what is
peaking,
this?
but I'm just speaking in my normal voice, so I'm not sure what's going on.
What
Let me
is-
turn my volume. What the fuck?
What is going on? Because now I could hear myself.
I could hear myself as well. I
That's
think that was
very strange.
appabend. Yeah.
What? I'm sorry.
No,
Just a moment ago, it was like echoing what we just said like 20 seconds ago.
yeah, I didn't even know where it came from.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
very strange.
That was
Anyway,
strange.
so recently we've had some issues regarding games and microtransactions and loot boxes, and every once in a while we have something that comes out and it brings it back into the discussion. I know back a while ago we had the T Martin and who was it? Psy Syndicate.
Pro Syndicate.
Pro Syndicate. And they somehow got off scot-free with their very much illegal act of, well, this site that they just happened to find, and we all know the story about
that's
that.
right. Yeah. Oh, there's this. I found this new website.
I found this website.
Lotto.
It just so happens this
Out of
website I
nowhere.
found, I started and didn't tell. It's crazy. I own this place. It's weird when you're going around on the internet and you discover websites that you happen to own. It's like, oh, that's awfully convenient.
I happen to find this website called Crude Penguin.
Oh, what do you know? There's this YouTube channel named Rags. I could post anything I want there. That's weird. Good thing I like dogs. So, recently, Battlefront 2 has had a little bit of controversy, obviously, with its pay-to-win loot boxes and its microtransaction system based around that, and the progression system, because it's all tied into one. You don't just rank up and get stuff and rank up and get stuff. All of the progression in the game, as far as I understand, is tied to loot boxes.
That seems to be the way that the system works, is that the whole... I'm not sure if it's a card system... Well, I think it was a card system or something like that, or a perk system. And that seems to be the entire progression system. Like, you can't avoid it.
And this isn't like, I mean, we take a game like Dirty Bomb, which is in the very, if you want to be extremely anally technical about it, is pay to win for about 10 minutes. Then it's not. So in every sense of the colloquial term, it isn't. It's a very, very fair system. And then you have games like Battlefront 2, and I watched Angry Joe's video, and I read some stuff on it, and some of these upgrades that you can get through the cards and stuff are they're pretty substantial. We're talking a 50% damage reduction as Boba Fett while you're using your jetpack, and that can be upgraded eventually to a 100% damage reduction if you're playing as Boba Fett while using your jetpack. That's insane. That's a huge difference. And the fact that you can just spend money and buy this stuff, and that is how you proceed in the game, is obviously, we don't have to explain why people are up in arms about it. Now, when it comes to EA, they are apparently looking into the feed. And look, when it comes to feedback, they knew exactly how people would take it, right? So, I mean, I guess good on them for, going back on it to a degree. But come on, let's be honest here.
What can they do? The game's coming out in less than a month. What can they do to change the system?
Well, I think that the fundamentals of the system, tying progression to loot boxes, I don't know if they could change that. But I
don't think they could.
What they can do, though, is they could change how you get them and the rate at which you get them and what you have to do to get them.
And maybe dial back the ridiculous advantages. Maybe not have a 100% reduction of damage.
It's not like it's not like a 10 or 20. And 20% damage reduction is a big deal, really. But a 100% damage reduction when you're jetpacking, and you should be at your most vulnerable, is insane. EA rebuffs pay-to-win loot criticisms of Star Wars Battlefront 2, which they knew people would hate it. They knew people wouldn't like it. They knew exactly what gamers would say. This was just a test run to put their toe in the water to see what they would get and to see what the reaction, how loud the reaction would be. This wasn't them trying to find out if people would like it or not. EA's not dumb. They knew exactly what they were doing. They just wanted to see if people would go for it.
I think this year it's definitely the litmus test in terms of just how far they can push it, because we have Shadow of War where it has gameplay affecting microtransactions, and now Star Wars Battlefront 2. And I think whether or not the backlash actually results in any sort of effect, I guess, on the game, in terms of lost sales or people not actually spending money on the microtransactions, will have a lasting impact on business models in AAA games over the next few years. This is probably the last chance that we have to actually make a difference, or just boycott the game.
It's imperative that, I won't buy Battlefront 2 unless they change it. Change it. And the thing is, luckily, I've got so many games to play, I'm not exactly invested immensely in whether or not I get to play the latest third-person shooter game from EA. I'm not in a position where I have to look forward to singular titles that much. So
especially this year, over the next few months, there are so many games coming out. We got Evil Within came out yesterday, South Park, Wolfenstein, Super Mario Odyssey, Assassin's Creed, and even another first-person shooter, Call of Duty World War II. There are a lot of major games to play over the next month.
Now, and Vermintide 2, its release is going to be in a few days, too. Or not its release, its reveal will be in a few days. Also, I will give EA the credit of having the DLC for this game being free and available to everybody. But if the asterisk at the end of that sentence, as you said in your video, is that the system is pay to win for progression, it's obviously not worth it. Those two things don't have to be linked hand in hand. What were the sales of the first Battlefront? I imagine they sold
14 million. 14 million, at least within the first 8 months. So it could even be higher than that.
Oh, I bet it definitely is. Let's just cut it there, and let's be very conservative and say that it sold 14 million copies. First off, that's insane. Second off, imagine being a company that makes a game that sells 14 million copies, and then for the sequel, you make it what the first game should have been, and then said, okay, you pay to win. This is a pay to win game. This is a system that they had in Battlefront 2 that would not be welcome in a free-to-play game. People wouldn't put up with this in a free-to-play game. And they have the balls to put this into a game that's going to be probably $60 on release, and you could buy the $300 mega version that comes with a code, Rockstar Energy code or something like that, or a helmet.
Right.
I don't know. But that's it's obviously ridiculous. It doesn't need to be really stated all that much. It's just obviously it's ridiculous. And they're walking back on it, which is, people want to say, yay, good job, EA, for doing that. But no, they knew exactly what they were doing.
They shouldn't have even done it in the first place.
Yeah, absolutely. It shouldn't have been like this in the first place. They knew exactly what they were doing. They were testing the waters, and the vocal opposition from gamers is what got them to do this. And the louder and angrier that you show that you are, the more they'll keep walking stuff like this back and not want to do it in the future.
I'm wanting to find the press release that DICE released about the system that they implemented, because they addressed it yesterday, I think, or sometime today. This is what they wrote. I'm just reading it out. This is from PC Gamer. It says DICE's words on progression in crates are delivered in bullet points and posted verbatim. There are many things you can earn in the game, including weapons, attachments, credits, star cards, and all that sort of shit. As a balanced goal, we're working towards having the most powerful items in the game only earnable via in-game achievements, which is a little bit better. It's still not good, but that's a little bit better.
It's better because at least, and I've said this time and time again, I want rewards in games to be meritorious. I want to earn rewards. Like in Battlefront 2 that came out in 2005, right? 2005, I think that game came out.
Yes.
Which is, it looks ancient, but it still plays probably pretty well. But even in that game, there were rewards that you got from completing challenges. You got like the 3-round burst assault rifle, and the revolver pistol, the scoped pistol, and you got the flechette shotgun and stuff like that. So even back in 2005, you had a game that had both eras in it, space battles, and it had unlocks.
Yeah, there's no excuses there for the lack of content in the first game. Yeah. It's just kind of incredible in a lot of ways how we've gone backwards in terms of the amount of content. Games used to cost a lot less money to develop. They were made in a far shorter period of time, and yet they offered more content.
But they look so much prettier.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong.
That's a great trade-off.
Don't get me wrong. A good-looking game deserves praise, without a doubt. And all the other things being equal, a game is better when it looks better. Hellblade would not have been the experience it was if it didn't look as gorgeous as it did. And obviously, especially the sound design of I didn't play the first remake of Battlefront because it looked like it was a simple game for casual normies. But I didn't. Also, I had Battlefield 4, so why would I need another dice shooter? But the sound design and the graphics definitely probably helped the experience, without a doubt. They probably did.
Oh, yeah, no, it elevated the experience. It was probably the most authentic Star Wars game ever made.
Yeah, they even have the original sound effects. That's how.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it sounded. I know when the reveal trailer came out, I was like, just close your eyes, and it's an amazing game.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't doubt that DICE really want to make a great game. They're clearly very passionate about Star Wars Battlefront. They clearly love this series, but even still, for me, that's not good enough to abide by this sort of system.
Yeah, exactly. And
it's inherently exploitative.
What you want and what we get, they're different things, and you have to measure what you get, not what wanted to be. You've got, I mean, ultimately EA has got their hands so far into DICE's britches at this point that you don't know. I mean, where does one begin and where does one end? And at the end,
well, that's exactly it.
Yeah, you just have to judge the final product. I mean, you could tell there was work and effort that was poured into Battlefront's remake. The problem is that the amount of content in it they ultimately decided came at the expense of other things, or they just decided it didn't need it. I mean, Battlefront
it's easy enough to look at most games and see the good intentions behind the game that they were trying to make, but that's the actual final product is more important than what they wanted to make. Oh, all right, I'll add him in.
Slap him up here. But in terms of the game itself, I see Battlefront 2. I see this Battlefront 2 as what the last game should have been.
That's right.
And if I didn't buy the first Battlefront, so I don't feel bad about buying a second one. If it turns out they fix the loot system and they say, okay, we're going to do this instead, and progression is still tied to loot boxes, but you get loot boxes every time you rank up or every time you complete an achievement or something like that. Even I can kind of go for that. It's not optimal, but I'm like, yeah, fine, fair enough. That's okay.
Well, that's how it works. You can earn crates just by completing milestones and
okay, that's not
bad. Yeah, but
bad.
I think that's how every game. That's kind of how every game works. In Overwatch, you earn loot crates just by playing.
Yeah,
they could not have it not be that way.
Yeah. PUBG also does that.
PUBG, but again, it's only aesthetic. Well, okay, PUBG, I could say different kinds of clothing can help you. But I would say just blend into the environment. But you're right; it is only aesthetic. In
it's
PUBG
not too
and
significant.
I mean, obviously, people running around with bright orange, bright yellow. Those bright yellow jackets. They die first. They stand out like a sore thumb, and that does affect your ability to not get shot in PUBG. I've noticed, but fair enough. It still is technically only aesthetic. Overwatch is the same way, but when we get into like Battlefront, we're talking about you get abilities at random based off of your performance, and the better you are, you get more random chances to get the things that you might care about. It's not. I don't think that's optimal. Remember when Black Ops came out, the Call of Duty Black Ops 1? That had the best Call of Duty system for unlocking things that has ever come out.
Yeah, it did, because you could just buy what you wanted. You could buy what you wanted.
You played the game, you got credits, you did, and you. For those of you who don't remember Black Ops, because it seems like it was... First off, it was a good game, and the way that it worked was in multiplayer, you played and you got Call of Duty points, credits, whatever, and you could like gamble on missions too. Like you could put down like 100 credits to do a mission, which is like get a certain amount of melee kills in such amount of time. And if you got the mission completed, you got a bonus. And if you didn't, then you lost what you put down on it. So that was interesting.
Oh.
But
yeah, that's right. That was
about
the
yeah.
Those were the games like Sticks and Stones where
Yeah,
you only
had those
have
too.
crossbows and
Yeah, those and that's different, but it's the same idea.
and gun game. That's right. Yeah, it
Sticks
was
and
a
Stones I
great
liked
system.
lot. It was because you could go into like the you basically could do penny slots all the way up to betting thousands of Call of Duty points.
But because
That
it's
does
not
sort of
real
encourage
money.
the player to be good, right?
Yeah, it
encourage the
does.
player to
Well,
be
yeah,
good.
it does. And it lets you choose which bracket and how much, what the risks are. So you could go into the penny slot version of Sticks and Stones as a game mode. And if you lose, you're out like 10 credits and it doesn't matter. And if you win like 10 credits and it doesn't matter. It's just for people to say, this is a fun game mode and I just want to play it. It doesn't matter if you won or lost, really. But then you get into the higher tiers and you'd be betting thousands of credits. And if you lost, it's like... So that was a big deal, but it was ultimately up to you. And the way that weapon unlocks worked was you could, at a certain level, you could have the possibility, the option to buy weapons using your COD points, and then you would buy whichever attachments you wanted and whichever camos you wanted. You didn't have to go through a linear progression of, oh, you got 10 kills, here's a foregrip. 15 more kills, here's a red dot sight. And then you get a suppressor at 60 kills, and at 100 kills you get an ACOG or whatever. You could choose which attachments you wanted and just buy them outright.
And it worked the same way with the perks as well.
Yes,
you could just
and
buy
perks
whatever
were the
perks
same
you
way,
wanted.
Yes. And
Was
it
it
was
with
the best
perks?
It's
system.
interesting that Call of Duty actually it's basically it's not like gambling with the real money or something. It's gambling
No,
with
it's
the
not
actual credits,
real
which
money.
is fine.
Yeah.
It's gambling with in-game currency, and that's cool. I actually like that. It can add a sense of tension to the games, especially when they get close and you have all these credits on the line.
When did Call of Duty start actually doing loot crates? Because they've been doing that for a few years with these supply drops and all of that.
Wasn't it with Black Ops
Advanced
3?
Warfare, I think. No, I think Advanced Warfare. Let me just look it up.
Maybe I forget. Which is weird. I have like 100 hours in Advanced Warfare because I actually really like that one. And then then I
Advanced
played
Warfare.
They did? Okay, I can't even remember. No, wait, yeah, you got because the weapons had like skins and they would be different. And then some
that's
weapons
right.
would just be better than others because I remember. I didn't like that part about it. Luckily, for the most part, it wasn't a huge impact.
Apparently, it started in Black Ops 3.
No, Advanced Warfare. It was definitely
Really?
Advanced Warfare. Yeah, I'm on the Call of Duty wiki, and that's where I found it. Yeah,
Advanced Warfare.
but I can't remember where it started though. It's just a main. Oh, I think Fritanga's dropped out.
No, there he is. Yeah. I didn't even look. I played the beta of Black Ops 3, and I was like, I felt like I had
anyone
enough.
hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, Fritanga.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, sorry about that, guys. Discord was being a dying cancer patient for a minute. I was
Yeah,
like,
it has its moments every once in a
Being
while.
messed
know-
up. Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
you
it's
want to
alright.
put it out of its misery, but then you put it on life support to give it a chance. And
It's more like you
Alright.
kill it and you resuscitate it over and over until
There.
it does what you want. If this was Tron, that would be a horror movie. But it's not so
Alright.
good.
Okay,
We've
cool.
got-
Continue.
Let's see. Black Ops 3, I played the beta and felt like I got enough. And Black Ops 3 was fine. As a game, Black Ops 3 was actually fairly decent. I just didn't want another Call of Duty game. Infinite Warfare was fucking garbage. I hated Infinite Warfare. I didn't like it at all.
I've yet to play it.
Oh, it was. I played the open weekend beta thing. It was fucking shit. Oh my god, terrible.
My motivations to play any Call of Duty are so low that I decided to play Infinite Warfare on my brother's PS4. That's how much I don't care about Call of Duty.
Oh yeah, I imagine.
Jeez.
I played the Call of Duty World War II beta, and I was fairly impressed. It played really well. It ran well. The controls were very responsive on PC. I like the mouse aiming was like 1-to-1. Things did what I told them to, and so that helped me. It was very easy though. I did very, very well, and I basically know.
Well,
nothing
it's a
about
very
Call of
simple
Duty.
game. It's
really is.
very
Yeah.
simple game. There's
But I had
nothing
fun.
to it.
But I had fun playing it. It felt like
Yeah.
like a Call of Duty game, and they had simplified it, I think, in mostly good ways. And anyway, some people actually thought we'd be talking about loot boxes. So
It's interesting that a lot of Call of Duty players are in the consoles, because my brother played it in a console. Most of his friends also played it
I
in a
can't
console.
imagine
Yes,
aiming
not
on a controller now. I can't imagine it.
Nah.
Oh God, I was trying to aim. I was trying to snipe on the PS4 version. It's literally an impossibility if you've been playing on the PC. It's like you have to adapt to a whole new controller setup, and I just can't go back to it, no matter how hard I try. And even then, I still came out the top.
I think the appeal for the console version is the multiplayer, the split screen one, because
split screen was a big deal. I know when I was younger and I played on consoles.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean it ran like garbage, but you know,
of course, yeah.
it's split screen.
but remember though, Halo 5 didn't need to have split screen. It's not like couch co-op was a huge component of every single Halo game.
Oh, couch co-op Halo, some of my favorite gaming moments of my life were couch co-op gaming in Halo.
God.
Oh boy. I heard,
Especially
by the
Halo
way,
2.
while it's on my mind, somebody told me on Twitter that when it comes to Overwatch, you could spend all your credits to buy like the stickers and the voice lines for really, really cheap, so that loot boxes, when you get them, tend to spit you out higher value things that you haven't gotten yet.
I don't know about that.
I don't know if there's any truth to that. But that's just what I heard. Dolphin just sent me a Discord message saying that Shadow of War players are using tricks and cheats to combat loot boxes, which doesn't surprise me at all.
yeah,
more power to them.
If you
Exploit the
decline
game.
Shadow of War's terms of service, it forces you to play offline and rids the game of the controversial market. Thus, no loot boxes.
Huh, all right.
Oh yeah, you could literally just use Trader. The Trader is basically just a free version of the loot boxes in some ways.
Ba, ba,
Okay.
ba.
I
Playing
personally
without loot
prefer the way
boxes.
Paladins does it. I like the way Paladins does it.
Paladins has a pretty. Paladins
It's pretty-
has an
it's
okay
pretty
system.
tight.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
works
it's
fine.
decent.
The problem is that for the most part, Paladins. I care about skins just so little in Paladins. I care about them
Well,
in
yeah, 'cause-
Overwatch, but I don't care about them in Paladins.
Yeah,
Probably
the ones in
because-
Overwatch have
Yeah.
this real sort of allure to them. They're just so brilliantly designed, and they're, it's like, I want it.
Yeah,
With a
I
lot of
know
other games, I just don't give a shit.
Paladins lacks the characters are just so generic looking.
Yeah,
I
but
can't
like,
explain it. Like,
some
and also,
of these
honestly, none of
skins
them.
in Overwatch are crazy. This Cthulhu skin for Zenyatta is insanely good.
Speaking of, I really got to get back onto Overwatch. Especially
I did.
for
I
this
got back into Overwatch not too long ago, and I play it pretty much all the time now, and I really, really like it.
Yeah, it's lots of especially with Halloween, they try to promote a lot of new skins and everything like that. Last year's
Well, that's
Mercy's
right, like
Overwatch
Mercy's
skin was.
skin that I wanted, and
that's
I
one of the
spent
few
money
ones I
on
got. Oh my god, it's such a good skin.
Who's the character that basically? Who is the character that basically dressed up like the Zorg Queen? Who is she?
Symmetra. She's got the
Symmetra.
dragon skin now, and yeah, full frontal nudity.
Damn.
They're not going to like that over a feminist frequency.
Well, dude,
Time
feminist
out.
freak. Anita was shitting all over Blade Runner.
Was she really?
She really was.
That
I
is
poop
a
you
line
not.
you don't cross for me. One of my favorite movies. You don't dare talk badly about that movie.
Yeah.
Huh.
Oh shit, that's
Look
up
at
to
this.
213 likes. Oh my god. She said, "Let's start this new account off with a bang. I thought Blade Runner 2049 kinda sucked." It's like, of course you
It's
hate
wrong.
it.
I mean, she's wrong. She's just objectively wrong.
Well, actually, she has a
wrong.
video called. She's got a video called "Flying Cars, Robots, Racism. Are you ready for Blade Runner 2049?"
I was like,
Yeah,
of
I
course
think
she
we're
is.
getting a little.
I know
off on
that one of her complaints about Blade Runner is that it doesn't focus on racism, but that's because she's missing the whole point of the whole film. It's not about races; it's about humans and replicants. That's what it's about. It's not about races or sexes.
Comments are disabled for this video.
Of
yes.
course.
Yeah.
Dislikes are disabled.
That's called starting a conversation, don't you know?
Oh, it's lovely.
I just want to have
I
a
wanna-
dialogue. I just want to have a
I just want to
dialogue.
have a dialogue. Comments disabled, likes and dislikes are hidden, and you're blocked on Twitter. It's like, okay, I'll dialogue with other people then, I guess.
Actually, I've never checked if she blocked me on Twitter. I don't.
She hasn't yet, but I'm shocked
Probably
she
not.
hasn't yet. I'm certain that
No, she
it is a
hasn't.
ticking time bomb that I will be blocked by Anita fucking Sarkeesian on Twitter.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the tweets right now. She's talking about one of the. I feel like I can't talk about the character without spoiling the film, but one of the characters, who's sort of related to Ryan Gosling's character, and she's saying that she's basically just pure male wish fulfillment. That was kind of the whole fucking point. That was the whole point. Come on. Do we watch the same movie?
It's a holographic waifu, obviously.
No.
Jeez.
What she's watching is oppression, and she's watching racism on the screen. What you're watching is a movie, you fucking idiot.
But it is interesting though that she's saying that it's sexist when one of the main antagonistic forces is basically like this badass replicant chick who.
Well, I haven't seen it yet. I'm probably going to tomorrow because my dad and we love the first Blade Runner because we're human beings, and so we're very very excited to see this next one because I've heard this one is really good.
Really great. It's really great. It's a sequel that doesn't necessarily need to exist, but it's one of the best sequels ever made for a film.
And I don't care if people
it's
disagree
bombing.
with me. I think the Ghost in the Shell movie was pretty darn good. I liked it.
I haven't seen
Yeah,
it.
it's not
I've never gotten
that.
to
It's not
Ghost in
that
the
bad.
Shell.
It's
Never
not that
gotten to
bad.
Ghost in the Shell.
The new one is good, Fringy. It is good. I really like it
Oh,
quite a bit.
all right. I might take a look at it.
Did any of you like it?
I
haven't
loved
seen
it.
it.
I didn't see it. I don't have much. I don't have any
I
interest in
didn't
horror
as well.
movies. I just don't.
Mm.
They
Oh,
kinda
we're
do
in
it for me.
October.
Okay.
Yesterday was Friday the 13th.
Well,
oh,
I'm
now it's
playing
Friday
The
the
Evil
13th in
Within
some of you.
2, so that's like a thing.
Yeah, I find that horror games are generally
7.4
sort of
hours.
more interesting than horror films. I think horror works better in an interactive
Yeah.
medium.
When you have to force yourself to.
That's right.
Anyway, let's go
Yeah.
back to the loot
Yeah.
boxes thing. So the name I decided to title the stream tentatively so far are Lootboxes Gambling, because recently, and Battlefront 2 is what kind of sparked the whole thing. Really, got into the discussion a bit, and Shadow of War did it as well with the legendaries and the loot boxes, and Assassin's Creed Origins has loot crate chest things too. So that's something. Now those are all in-game currency only. The Origins ones are in-game currency only, but still, I'm like, how does that even fit into the lore of, like, what is like you use your Egyptian money to buy? You go to a shopkeeper and it's like, here's a box. It could have a sword in it, but it could also have a dead
This reminds me of that
ibis.
Simpsons. That reminds me of that Simpsons. Was it Family Guy or Simpsons where it's like you could get the boat or you could get the mystery box? What's
That's
in the mystery
Family Guy.
box?
Yeah.
That's Family Guy.
What's in the mystery
Yeah, that's
box?
Family Guy.
You
The
know,
mystery
we could get a boat. Like,
Wait. I heard that sort of concept from a game show. I forgot the name. That's so weird. That's so weird. It feels like a game show.
Anyway, European Game Rating Body agrees with ESRB. Loot boxes aren't gambling. Peggy and the UK trade group Yuki say it's not their job to make the rules. The Entertainment Software Rating Board, the agency that doles out age ratings to video games in North America, declared a couple days ago that loot boxes, despite their inherent randomness, do not constitute a form of gambling. The reason, simply put, is that while you don't know what you're going to get out of them, you know you're going to get something. Unlike a lottery ticket, say, where the great likelihood is that your money is just going up in smoke.
okay, let's address this
Let
straight
me
up,
ad- yeah, let's
with an
address how retarded
anecdotal
that
example.
is.
Like, I'll give you an anecdotal example. Last year, I wanted to get that Mercy skin. I really wanted that Mercy skin, and I didn't get it. And I
got
think
it like
I
the
spent
first one
$10
too.
bucks.
It's so good.
I think I spent $10 on loot crates, and I feel like an idiot for it. I spent $10, and I wanted that skin. I didn't get that skin. Sure, I got other skins, but it's not the skin that I wanted. How can anybody look at that and say, yeah, well, it's not really gambling? I mean, we know that you put down your
All right.
money knowing that there was a percentage chance you wouldn't get what you wanted, but you
The-
still got something.
The reasoning is dumb because, as I pointed out on Twitter, the reasoning was at least you get something. You're guaranteed to get something. So let's take that with the logical step. If a casino guarantees that every pull of the lever at the slot machine gives you at least a single penny back, it's no longer gambling. because you're guaranteed a
that's the
penny.
equivalent.
You're in
Jesus. Legally.
Legally,
morally,
in any realistic, pragmatic sense, no. It's still gambling.
It's also ironic that Peggy has a warning that a number of video game content warnings, one of which is for gambling, and yet they say that loot boxes isn't for gambling. So they basically say they put bad language. Put bad language, discrimination, drugs, fear, online, all these warnings, and then gambling is one of them. And yet they say loot boxes isn't gambling, right?
So I see this a couple further. I can already see 2 comments that say I don't really feel like it's gambling. That's not relevant what you feel, but not really. someone said loot boxes are gambling in its purest form. I don't get it. And someone replied, not really, since the payout does not have monetary equivalent. So it is impossible to say if the payout is ever less than the input.
That's not even true, though. I mean, what about the case of CS:GO Lotto? Wasn't that instances where they got reselling of content in a game? Like that doesn't make any sense to say that something that's digital has no value.
Yeah, and if it has a marketplace on Steam, does that make it gambling? And so loot boxes in Overwatch are not gambling, but it is gambling in PUBG and in Counter-Strike because they have markets attached to them. So where do you draw the line? And first off, there's nothing wrong with gambling in video games. There's nothing wrong with that. If you want to gamble, if you want to spend in-game currency or real-world currency on a loot box, and as long as you know up front what the potential outcomes are, you should be able to make that choice if you want. The question,
and even if it isn't gambling, I think that the developers, a lot of gamers, like this system is basically just incentivizing gamers to give developers money on lots of money on things that are probably not worth the entire thing. Like if you total everything, like again, just read the comment that I shared to you. It's from somebody who used to work in an MMORPG. And to this day, he said, I still don't know what shocked me more. Seeing financial records indicating that some people were willing to drop a cool $1,000 in 30 days for virtual goods, or my superior laughing at my naivety and saying, that's nothing, I've seen higher.
Well, you got to remember that when it comes to the system with loot and things like that, a lot of the value comes from the experience and the endorphin rush and the ability to brag that you have something.
Yes.
Like you can see it in every single loot crate system. You get the loot crate, and then it's like starts rumbling, like, oh, what am I gonna get? And then it bursts out, and there's these big flashy colors and loud music cues, and that taps into your dopamine.
And I will say on that subject, I have been to Las Vegas. It was last year I went to Las Vegas on the way to the Grand Canyon, and we spent 2 nights in Vegas. And I come from gambling is illegal in Arkansas where I live. Except that we have a lottery and you can bet on horse races and there are casinos at the horse race track. But other than that, gambling is illegal because look, the South has some weird laws. We have like dry counties with wet cities inside of them, but it's weird. But basically, this was a super new, interesting experience for me going to Las Vegas. Fabulous Las Vegas, Nevada, right? So, I mean, like the buildings and everything, but you go into Caesar's Palace is where I did my gambling. You go in, first we had to go through the forum to get there, which was insane. But you go into the floor and you can smell the smoke, which is new for me because smoking is like illegal almost everywhere here. You smell the smoke and the cigars. You see all the hot babes with the drinks and everybody and the tourists and guys, and they're throwing dice and they're passing out cards, and there's all the machines going in the rows, and it's amazing. It's like the experience of being on the gambling floor and doing all that stuff is without a doubt part of the thrill. And I mean, just being there, even if you lose money, it's fun because you're in this crazy new environment and there's people everywhere and they're drinking and talking and having fun and smoking cigars, and they got a big screen where all the races are going and people are doing live bets on horse races and dog races and porcupine races and everything in between, and it's fun to be there. And that's it. I got carded like 12 times, but that's all right. It was fun, but luckily I actually won. I turned $20 into $39, so that's pretty sweet. So then I walked
you go.
away. I was like, I'm done. And so $39.
No, let it
So
ride, man.
I could afford about 12 seconds in a room with that $39. So that was pretty neat. But you're right.
Here's the thing that I
is part of what drives people to do that stuff, even in a digital form.
Especially
Here's the
when
thing
you
that
tell
I-
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, here's the thing that I noticed about gambling and everything like that, and all these loot boxes. It really takes advantage of a player's desperation. The
That's right.
desperation to like do good. Like the
No,
desperation.
I don't think it's a desperation to do good. I think it's a desperation to be special, to
I
have
don't-
something
yeah.
that
I
you
don't
know
think
is
desperation
legendary or
has
rare.
any part to play in it, really. I don't think people are desperate. And if people
No, I
are
think-
playing a video game, I don't think that people gamble out of desperation in a video game. I mean,
Well, I
you
mean,
see the
yeah, but
stories
what
in
about
real
CS:GO,
life of
though?
what your desperation to get a skin.
Yeah,
But do
well,
you-
I
do
mean,
you
it's
not think it's as
ridiculous to
addictive?
understand, but yeah.
I don't.
Do you
I don't
think
know.
it can be just
I
as
don't-
addictive? Addictive
Yeah, it is
as
addictive.
real life gambling, you know.
I
when
mean,
you're throwing
maybe
down
think
cards.
about it from the perspective of like a child who's playing these games. They don't have any money. They probably only own like 2 or 3 games. They can only buy 1 or 2 new games a year. So for them, the one game that they have is really important to them, up to the point that they really want to sort of assert that status. I think it's about status with a lot of these skins and things like that. So
Yeah,
you
I
can be
think
like,
so. I
wow,
think
look
so
at me.
too.
I've got a legendary knife or whatever. I
Yeah.
don't get
Look,
it.
When
For a
someone
kid,
I wanna
has
point
a
out
super-
this-
get it.
If you guys don't mind, I want to point out this comment someone made, which is
Yeah.
King Zirkle. He said, "Loot boxes absolutely take advantage of addictive personalities. That doesn't make it gambling."
Well,
What?
it's gambling by the definition of what gambling is. Who it takes
Yeah.
advantage of ultimately are
Okay,
some people.
at this moment, the word gambling is just like it's regardless whether or not you call it gambling or not, it's still addicting to do, isn't it?
All right, so
I guess we can draw a line between because Call of Duty is kind of designed to be addictive as well, and that's, I guess when we say addictive, it's addictive in the sense of trying to acquire something, and I think that's
Well,
probably a distinguishing factor.
This is how I look at it. Is it you're not necessarily gambling money? Well, I mean, you're obviously,
you are,
well,
are.
I mean,
though.
yeah, but you're not gambling to get money back, right?
not
Well,
necessarily.
depends.
Yeah, you absolutely
depends
can.
what it is.
Right,
well,
but
in
Yeah,
some
depends
games
what
you can.
game.
I guess
yeah, but-
'cause- oh, sorry, go
in
ahead.
something like this though, I think people are pretty much just putting down their money and hoping to get the loot crate that contains the skin they want, and they don't necessarily feel the repercussions. You know, they're not thinking that, hell, I'm gonna go bankrupt from this. You know, I'm not gonna just keep throwing down money. I think they eventually reach that point where they say, okay, I've already put down enough money.
No, that's
See,
not true, because
here's-
some of these people have spent thousands of dollars on these mobile games. Some people spend thousands
I've
of
had a friend
dollars.
who that.
Mm.
Yeah,
I've had a friend
Really?
do that. Actually,
Oh.
yeah,
Yeah.
my uncle's my cousin actually, he
Like Zoe
spent
Quinn.
way too much this game called Clash of Clans. You know Clash of Clans?
Oh,
yeah,
I've
he
seen the
spends.
stupid ads. Yeah,
I
Yeah,
played it for
well,
like 5 minutes.
I played it for
He,
no
spe-
minutes,
he
so
spends
I win.
way too much. It's very popular here. So he spends like it would be the equivalent of like thousands of dollars in like every month or two.
Oh,
It's insane.
wow. Okay. So for the sake of our argument, I looked up the definition of gamble, and it's got 2 definitions. One of them is play games of chance for money, and the second one, which I think is more applicable here, take a risky action in the hope of a desired result.
Yes,
Yeah, that's
The
definitely
risky, the
second
risky
one.
action is you put in the money, and the desired result is that you want to get a specific skin, but the risk is that there's a good chance you won't get it.
And in the legal sense, I think that it's clear based on the European Game Rating Board and ESRB. The idea is that you put something down as risk, and then you chance it. There's a chance at getting things, but you get something. It's a chance at something.
Yeah,
So-
I mean, like gambling I'm looking up all these definitions. I'm going crazy. Gambling has 3 elements: consideration, chance,
Yes.
and prize.
Exactly.
And
Yes, that's what I
if
remember.
we're going by that definition, then all loot crate systems have that. Consideration is the money that you pay. The chance is the RNG system, and the chance that you have of actually getting something. And the prize is your legendary items.
I think we
And-
should be more focused on the content of that is being gambled, because let's just say, okay, it is gambling. It is gambling or it isn't gambling. It stays there, and some people might say, oh, it's an optional thing to do. You don't really have to spend money on it. But then, when that's the realization, the game developers, they can just basically make the game so that it is designed so that to the point you actually need the loot box.
And
Because
then
that's
people-
like the
and-
issue here.
Exactly it. Yeah.
Yeah, and when it comes to Overwatch, I think it gets a pass from a lot of people because it doesn't affect gameplay. And
Wait.
it is
There's also a game that I think Top Hats tweeted this out. He was a little bit I don't know, in a dilemma on whether or not he should accept loot boxes because he buys a lot of Hearthstone card packs.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well,
So-
somebody asked a Magic the Gathering question. ZX036 said, "So should Magic cards be regulated because it's gambling as well as pay to win?"
But isn't Magic cards where you specifically buy the cards that you want?
You can do that. Every card has specific value to it, and you could go online and find out what the value of those cards is. I used to
Stream
be
is
big.
dead,
I used to be
apparently,
big
in
into
your end.
Magic. On mine?
Yeah, your stream just died. I think it's restarting, but
yeah,
yeah.
if it should
It's-
pop up in just a second.
Oh,
It says stream
wait a
resumed.
second.
Stream is continuing for me, so we should be good. But
Okay.
but with Magic, yeah, like when I was big into Magic and I went to the store, they would go online. Whenever somebody went to go buy a card or ask a card value, they would go to a certain legit site to find out what the value of the card was, and then that's how they calculated the transaction. I get the point though, because it's gambling because you put down $4, $3.50 for a pack of cards. The pack of cards gives you an outcome. You get 15, 11 cards or whatever of a certain. You get 1 gold, I think 3 silvers, and the rest are normie blacks or whatever. And you get and then you get the risk and the value of the cards, and it is gambling in the pure sense of the word. And is
I
it
think
pay
where
to win?
I'm going to put the line here. I think where I'm going to put the line here is because I think Magic the Gathering is like built on the aspect of you buying a pack of cards and actually get it. But games like Battlefront 2, like you already paid $60 for the game. Like, what is the content that the $60 will offer if you're gonna need to pay another thing to actually progress or get through the game?
Well,
that's the thing is, I think
it doesn't matter really what the value is of whatever you get, because the value is whatever any person wants to assign to it.
Yeah, that's true, but I think maybe if we look at it from a pragmatic standpoint of there's often the argument that, well, the microtransactions don't matter, you don't have to use them. But if we're talking about game affecting ones, if you don't have to use them, then there's no point to them. And if there's no point to them, they wouldn't be in the game.
Well, as I was saying about Overwatch really quick, that the reason people can say that, at least in Overwatch, it's all aesthetic, it doesn't affect
That's right.
gameplay in any way. And also, all the DLC for Overwatch is free. Every
To
update-
me, that's the trade-off for
yeah.
it.
And
Yeah.
and I think that as long as a game, if the microtransactions of a game are only aesthetic and don't affect gameplay, but the trade-off is that even though it's got microtransactions, all the updates, map packs, all of that is free, I think that is normally, with an asterisk on it, normally that is a positive net good for the community, especially map packs. But
Yeah.
whenever
Yeah, I'm
there's
just
an
gonna
Well, 'cause
update...
it
find,
keeps the
find a way to
community
put on the
together.
line. Where's like the line? I think.
Well, I think the
we
line
should-
is what the effect that the crate gives you. If it's a pay to win system, then I don't care about your free updates. If it's a
Yeah.
loot system where it's just aesthetic, and you say, okay, instead of splitting, because a game has to make money over time for it to exist.
Yeah.
That is totally fair enough. I understand that. So if you're going to say that the way that we make money over time is to make skins and have our artists draw things for the game, and you can buy them if you want, and as a result of this influx from people paying for skins and aesthetic stuff and bling, we give you all the maps and all the weapons and all the events, and we keep pushing those out, and those are for free, and everybody gets them. I think that's a completely fair and probably a preferable trade-off.
Well, okay, I was going to mention this, Fringy. I saw that it was a few days ago you were going back and forth with this guy named Sierra Erie on Twitter, and he said...
What's his name?
Sierra Ear. He's got a Hitler picture.
Oh,
so
yeah, that's right.
Is he still
Yeah.
around?
Yeah. So he's like, did you
It's been
smoke something
months.
funny? He's like, did you smoke something funny? Microtransactions are only in games to make up for insufficient sales.
No.
And then he
Do
called me
you-
a gaming.
do you find
and then
that
he called me a
completely-
gaming SJW?
Yeah, he calls you a gaming SJW.
Whatever the fuck that means.
I don't.
Because I
I'm
guess
just
we
shocked that
complain
he
too
hasn't
much.
found anything better to do with it. He used to be like all over my ass. I don't know if he's.
I mean, even
Colt.
even Colt Eastwood is on your side here, Fringy, in this
Yeah,
one.
no. Well, no, but Colt Eastwood is a reasonable guy. I mean, I disagree with him on a few things. I think he's a cool dude.
Okay, so I think I think we're all in agreement. I think right that loot boxes are gambling.
Oh yeah, I've been in
really
agreement
no
with.
thinks that
I already
they're
thought
not.
that since I'd always thought of them as gambling when you consider the fact that pretty much when you put the money down and you want to get whatever's in that box.
Money is not
you know?
necessary for it to be gambling.
No,
No, that's
I
right.
You don't think
I
so?
think we need to.
Oh, no,
the question.
it's, you don't need it.
I think a much better question is not whether or not it's gambling or whether or not we're okay with it. Are we okay?
Well, it depends. It's not.
I am.
I'm okay. I'm as a concept. I'm perfectly fine with the concept of gambling in video games.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Yeah, I'm okay with
Yeah.
it, but I think it's important that it needs to be actually legislated, or it needs to have some
Oh,
sort
yeah.
of
It's like,
oversight.
I'm okay
You know,
with the
if we-
concept of DLC in video games.
I think
Asterisk.
once we reach the point though where we say it's gambling, then we really need to think about whether or not kids should even be allowed to play these games, because gambling is 18 and above.
well,
That's
Right,
also, also very
Well,
good.
first off, thanks off very much, Wireless Tree, for liking my stuff, and I'll get through the super chats in just a second. But because I've been paying attention on the side, but okay, so this does get brought up too. How do we stop kids from gambling? First off, that's not enforceable. Let's just be honest. That's not something you can.
that depends on
enforce.
individual parents.
Yeah,
But I think that
that's
it
the
would be
parents' job.
worthwhile for the parents to actually know what games the kids are playing.
Now,
Because
I would.
I imagine a lot of parents are just completely oblivious to it.
Yes, I know there's a lot of parents
Yep.
who use video games as a babysitting tool, and that's obviously
Yes.
not the best way to go about things. Said the one without any, but
Here's
when-
also a thing, because I'm speaking as experience, because as somebody who has someone who spends a lot of money on these sorts of microtransactions and these mobile games, it is because his dad is actually pretty rich. My cousin's dad is actually very rich. My uncle. He doesn't really watch his kid a lot. He just gives the kid the iPhone, and also give him access to the Google Play wallet of something. Like he just gives him access on that.
yeah, that's dumb.
Because
That's on
he
the
doesn't
parent.
really.
that's very irresponsible.
I mean, ultimately, it's not. I would be okay. I would actually probably prefer it if a game on the box or on the storefront had an indicator next to the rating, E, T, M, whatever.
Aha.
If it
Yeah,
said
yeah.
this
Yeah,
game
yeah.
contains some sort of gambling system or a loot crate system.
Yeah, Peggy does that.
See, that's where it should
Peggy
be
does that.
legislated, right there.
Okay. Well, no. Here, as long as if it stops at putting the warning, at that point it becomes the parent's responsibility or the individual's responsibility. And
As you can see there in the chat, Peggy does that. Except
okay, I don't know
since
too
they
much
don't
about
consider-
Peggy. All I know about Peggy is Peggy 18, and that's it. That's the. I don't even know who she is. But in terms of having that be on the box, I think that's pretty fair, because
Yeah.
Yes.
as we all know, none of us ever went to a porn site before we were 18. Because we all know that once you try to go on and it says, "Are you 18?" we were like, "Well, fuck, no, I'm not 18. Shit, abandoned ship,
Or, I
abandoned
mean-
ship, abort."
Or I mean, if you're appabend, you probably went to hentai sites. But anyway,
yeah.
We can have the 2D versus 3D debate another time.
Not
There's
now,
actually
though.
3D
But-
hentai though.
He's interested in a different kind of loot box. As for us, we need to talk about the game stuff. So let me go through the super chats real quick before we get too much into the wife is the pillows. Anyway, let me see. Agent Bum, $2 rags is a homosex. Well, I guess that was worth $2. And if that's news to you by now, then okie dokie.
I do like
That's
how
not
Rag
true, I
spelled. I do like how Rag spelled Fringy's name down here as Frinty.
Frinty?
Good job.
My guests, Frinty, appabend.
Well,
and
I got
Fritanga.
I got his Twitter thing right, so.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes up for it.
That's pretty good.
I can't believe you did that.
Well, you know what? That's
You hurt my feelings,
it's
man.
water. No harm, no foul, no blood. No, we're good. We're fine.
Well, I mean, Fringy. Okay. Actually, go ahead and do the super chats. I'll say it later.
So, $10 from Kyle Daubert. Love your content, Regs. Keep up the great work. I shall indeed. Thanks very much for the $10. Merg sent $5. He said he or she, I don't want to assume your gender. Loot boxes are gambling, and that won't be a big deal if they had safeguards against it, but since they don't, it's a huge issue. Well, I don't know what the safeguards would be. That's the thing. I think it's the safe.
I think we can just do game reviews. Game reviews, read people's thoughts on it. There's this really good channel I highly recommend you guys to visit. I just recently found out called Yang Ye. It's very good.
Okay,
he
we'll know
covers
exactly
lots
how to
and lots
spell
of
that. Let me see. What's the channel?
Yang Yeah, without the H. Yang Yeah. I'll send you the link.
Yang.
He's a Singaporean. There we go.
Gaming news, reviews, discussions. He doesn't follow me,
Definitely.
so fuck this guy.
He's not active on Twitter though, so.
Yeah, it seems to be an automated thing here. I'll take a look at it and I'll check it out later. I'll leave that up.
He hates loot boxes with a passion. He covers up every single thing. Every single game with loot boxes, he just covers it up.
Oh, dude, that's commendable, man. That's
Yeah.
great.
He's just like Shadow of War. Devs fail attempt to justify loot boxes.
Yeah, but I don't really. I
loot
can't put
boxes,
that on the
jeez.
devs, to be honest with you. I kind of feel bad for the devs.
I feel like
Yeah.
I think it's publishers. It's publishers being greedy is all it is.
Yeah, because even think about what was that with the DLC for the man who passed away?
Yeah.
Like, there's no way that the developers were cool with that. No way.
Yeah. I don't know. That thing turns me off so much out of the game. It's just
It's
so,
really just it makes you feel icky, doesn't it? It's just like, yeah.
Oh, like I just couldn't be bothered. I really want to play Shadow of War. That thing. It just.
I don't. The last
I
thing I
can't.
need is another big game to get into right now. I'm still getting.
I think the thing that I really don't like about that whole issue is that
Slayer was the guy's.
yeah, that's
name.
right. I think the thing that I really don't like about it is that it turned a man's passing into a controversy about DLC.
Yeah, I mean, it's like
Yeah.
that was such a scummy move. That's such a scummy fucking move.
Yeah.
Scummy move in every direction. In every direction I find it scummy. I just like so they basically take they get all the profits from the DLC into the charity except when it's the international version.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and it's also a state by state thing too.
That's
depending on
right.
the
I
state
think
you buy in.
Massachusetts, Alabama, they're exempt.
So
Yeah,
so
wouldn't
that,
it be just better if the developer just donated directly to them?
or if they
to
did
the
That's-
such and
family?
such
yeah.
percentage of total sales. Obviously they were trying to make money off of someone fucking dying.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm sure legal issues were a factor, but there had to be a way to get around it. I mean, this is Warner Brothers. Like,
Oh, yeah,
you know,
the
they
DLC
can
is
do
free
it.
now, by the way. The
Yeah,
DLC
it
is
is,
free
yeah.
now.
Oh,
so
thank
I
God.
guess-
Yeah, thank
they
God.
gave it out for free, which is what it should have been from.
I mean, if there's no backlash to it, I'm pretty sure that they would have still
Yeah, but
charged
there was
for it, right?
That in an alternate universe where that wouldn't have had backlash. Anyway, super chats here. Christopher Horde, $10. Thank you very much, Christopher. He says, thinking about upgrading to 1080 Ti. Are SLIs worth it? Heard they're not well supported. Thanks for the content. SLI is generally not at all worth it. There are some they generally help, and in some games they help a lot. But if money is not an issue, I guess go for it. But that's only if money isn't an issue. One 1080 Ti is a lot of horsepower. And some games run better in single card. PUBG is an excellent example. I get way better FPS in PUBG with only one card running. But some games, when SLI is enabled and when it works, or when you just force it through, it can really, really help you. But is it worth it? No. The amount of money you put in for the FPS you get back generally, not at all worth it. It's just one of those things, I've got money to burn, so here's another card.
I think it's a very luxurious thing, though.
It is. It's absolutely kind of a luxury. Absolutely.
Is it any useful for a video rendering?
I don't think so.
No.
I don't think so.
No. I'm someone who use Vegas, and both in Vegas and Premiere, apparently they both do not support like newer cards. Like Vegas only support cards like GT 500, 600 or earlier.
Yeah, it doesn't support my 970. It doesn't let me use my 970.
Well, I'll tell you what, Movie Maker supports all the cards that I've ever used.
Oh, fuck off.
Yeah, that. Anyway, Christopher, yes, 1080 Ti is a beastly card, and it will give you many of the
FPSs. I think that's my next card. So
I got the Zotac Amp Extreme one, so it's like one of, if not the strongest 1080 Ti variant, and it just plows through things on 1440p. Kame720 and friends, unless your name is Kame, I don't know, but Mr. 720 and all of your pals, $10. Hope you enjoy Interstellar Marines and Dead by Daylight, and here's $10 for all of your great work. Thank you very much, Kame720 and friends. I appreciate that. Let me see. Shiba Doggo gave $1. Thank you. Max Middleton gave $20. Ooh boy. Great videos, man. You have inspired me to be part of your PC family. Thank you. You're welcome, Max. Thank you very much for the $20. Wolf and Coyote, $5. We all know who this guy is. They need to bring back the helicopter airlift mechanic back from BFV. What is that? Battlefield Vietnam, I guess, and he's saying.
Vietnam. Yeah.
Slingshot tanks or the tank flipping flat gun of Battlefield 42. I like it when games are silly. I'm not gonna lie. I know the stuff like the Jihad Jeeps and everything from Battlefield 3 and 4 especially, you could really play around with the physics of vehicles. Silly is good. I like me silly. Like in Vermintide. Vermintide's physics are awful, and I love it. So, Flippant Solutions, $10. Don't buy games with microtransactions. Don't play games with microtransactions. Vote with your wallet, and don't let other humans buy or play games with microtransactions. Don't be a useful cop-out. I don't know about the last bit. Don't let other humans buy or play games.
No, I mean, of course they're allowed to buy whatever games they want. I'm not the arbiter of what people are allowed to play.
If they hate the business practice.
Well, when it comes to
don't.
what you should and shouldn't buy, you should not buy pay-to-win microtransactions ever. Ever. That is the thing you should not ever do. If you are doing that...
No, you should never,
Yeah, if you do that, I know it's really cliched, but you're part of the problem if you do that. If you support pay-to-win microtransactions, then you should maybe reconsider. Now, as for buying games that even have microtransactions in them...
There's literally an article in Motherboard said gamers can't stop buying the loot boxes they hate.
Well, I'm sure. There's a reason they're in the game. If nobody bought them, they wouldn't have them in the game.
Then they wouldn't be in there. Yeah, that's right.
Don't buy games with microtransactions. That's the bigger gray. When you buy a game with microtransactions and you don't buy the microtransactions, I see it both ways. These companies know what you're spending your money on. If everybody buys the game and they don't buy the microtransactions, then that's a middle-of-the-road compromise solution.
Why can't it be just like Cuphead, where you could just buy the game and enjoy it. What it
And
is.
it shows because Cuphead sold 1 million copies.
Yeah,
That
it sold 1 million
exclusionary game. That
Yeah,
exclusionary game.
It's video game gatekeeping from the hardcore gamers. That's
Yeah,
why
guys,
it sold
I-
millions.
doing that. I mean, come on.
I went out and I bought an Xbox One just for Cuphead because it's an exclusive, you know.
That's yeah.
Wait, what?
It's sitting right here. My lovely Xbox right here. I love it.
But
Thank you,
as
Xbox.
As obviously the ideal scenario is that you don't buy games with game intrusive microtransactions, but I'm not gonna judge you if you do. Absolutely not. Because like I bought Dead Space.
Not yet,
3.
anyway.
You know, I bought I don't know the last. Okay, so like with The Evil Within 2, I got it from I got a legit key, and it came bundled with the DLC, and I just didn't use the DLC gun or anything because I wanted to experience the game, you know, as it was kind of designed. I don't want bonuses in my survival game. It seems like it's like you will make the game easier for you. And it's like it's a survival game. I don't want you to make it easier for me. It's the whole point. So
I was gonna ask you real quick, Rags. Do you know a fellow by the name of Max Poley, or he goes on YouTube by itmaxel?
I've heard the name Maxel. Apparently he's like a PlayStation guy.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, thanks to Rags, I made 9K myself. I don't know. I did a video on this guy, and ever since
I don't.
like
Thanks to
4 days
me,
ago,
I don't believe have I
I
ever.
don't know.
Have I ever? I don't think I've ever made a video about him.
No, you haven't. You haven't. I did. I mean, he's the kind of guy to make a secondary channel just to like his other videos. I don't know. That's what he said on Twitter.
I don't know. I don't think I've ever interacted with him in any way, and I don't think I've ever gone to his channel. Somebody sent me a link to him.
Quick question, Rag. Divinity Original Sin 2, does it have any forms of microtransaction? Hopefully, it's
yeah.
I don't think it does.
Well, there you go.
I still got to
game
put more
developers.
time into that game.
It's
I
so
really have to.
fucking good.
Yeah.
It's probably gonna be my game of the year.
I love the original. I just need to replay it again. I need to replay it again, finish it, then I get to Divinity Original Sin 2. I have it here hanging.
I'll get to it once I finish A Hat in Time. It's just there's too many games right now.
Let's see.
There's too many games.
So many.
It has a Divine Ascension DLC for $15.
Yeah, that's a DLC.
But
it's not
what is it?
gambling.
It's got a history of Rivellon with over. Oh, it's like books and shit.
Oh, that's cool.
A map of Reaper's Coast, digital art pack, an art book featuring hundreds of pieces over. I might actually buy this.
Oh, that's fine. That's all
Yeah.
optional non-game content.
So in the sense that, someone downvoted it and said not playable content. Go fuck yourself, Ian. Go and fuck yourself with a rusty spork. But I
mean,
don't.
in this game doesn't even cost full price. You know, this game is less than $60.
Divinity Original
Is
Sin
it-
2 costs $45.
Not bad.
It's
Is it
worth every
coming out on
dollar.
consoles? The last one was on
don't
console.
know.
I assume it will.
Does it
especially with how well-
$45? Seriously?
Yeah, 45
Yeah.
is the
For the-
game.
Regional price. It's regional price. I love my regional prices. It's $20 here.
Oh wow.
Oh man,
Fuck.
Yep.
I'm moving to Indonesia.
But yeah, you should buy Divinity
I
Original
mean, I'll have
Sin
to live
2
in a
if
hut,
it
but I'll be able to play some games at $20. So why
Oh,
not?
and you know what's... Wait, you know, the Polygon did a review of Divinity Original Sin 2. They gave it a 7 out of 10.
Why?
They said
Because-
Divinity Original Sin 2 is stunningly ambitious, but fails to pull all its pieces together. They say
I think
that,
they mean it lacks quick time events. Probably that's what it's lacking.
It's too hard. Divinity Original
too
Sin
hard.
has an abundance of things to see and do, a staggering amount of secrets to unearth, and plenty of tricks up its sleeve. Yet almost every cool moment I experience sits shoulder to shoulder with an equally weighted disappointment. Ambitious and impressive as it often is, it's ultimately a collection of incredibly pretty beads that just don't string together as well as they should.
Now, can you do me a favor and can you check what their review for Infinite Warfare is?
Okay, let's do that. Polygon
me
Infinite Warfare review. Let me scroll down.
Oh man, I'm dying with anticipation.
This is too intense. Come on.
We're all waiting.
8.5.
You fucking kidding me? I love these review sites.
To be fair, I don't know if
Divinity?
the same person reviewed them both. Russ Frushtick reviewed that one, and the Divinity Original Sin one was done by some wanker.
Why don't they ever... Okay, so I wanted to start this one discussion. I don't know if you guys are interested. Probably not. But I was having
Janine Hawkins.
I was having a conversation with a friend, and he told me that he thinks the best way to pull off these kind of reviews is to get a proper. I hate using that phrase. Proper reviewer, somebody who knows what they're doing when it comes to these type of RPG games, and put them to review those games because they would know how to properly review it, I suppose.
Yeah, I think it would be a good idea to have a consistent team that focuses on specific genres. So you got your first-person shooter team, and because I mean the score system is retarded already.
It is retarded, but I mean, look, Divinity Original Sin, and I'm gonna spurg about this a little bit because Divinity Original Sin 2 is pretty close to a masterpiece in terms of gaming. The amount of the amount of sheer content and detail and love that was put into this world is insane. And the problems that I have with it are basically nitpicks. There is nothing that I see wrong in this game or bad in this game that can't be fixed with a patch. And plus, it's going to be fully supported by mods. It's already got Steam Workshop stuff up.
Holy shit.
I imagine that user-generated content for it is going to be insanely good, and there's a lot of balance mods as well. I read a lot of this review, and I honestly cannot see it, what they're complaining about. They have every right to review it at a 7 out of 10. They're just retards for doing so. So, Infinite Warfare 8.5, buy it today.
Yeah. I even saw you praising it for the different voice chickens. I was like,
I can tell. I can tell the chickens apart just by their voice actors. And Bethesda has 7 voice actors, and 5 of them are Brandon Keener.
7? Nah, it's more like 4, man. I think you're joking there.
Seriously, Bethesda, fucking pay for someone whose name isn't Brandon Keener, please. Every fourth.
What are you talking about? No. They had Ron Perlman in there for like 2 seconds. What are you talking about?
Did they? Who is he?
Ron Perlman? He's
I know who
done
he
all
is.
the
Who did he
openings to
voice?
Fallout. He voiced the guy on the news, like when the opening segment to Fallout 4.
Oh, okay, so like a cameo then.
Oh,
yeah, a cameo.
I gotcha.
He didn't even open the game up. He just had a cameo.
That's Ron Perlman. I guess I didn't notice it at first, but
Yeah, I noticed it, but I was like, that's it.
He's really cashing
you would
it
think, because there wasn't much else to notice, you think I would have caught that.
They also had They also had the voice actor to Goku, but nobody really gives a damn right there.
Goku?
He played.
Is that a thing people know?
He played Strong. He did the voice of Strong. Yeah, that's it. I don't think there's anybody else.
Anyway,
my thing with
Bethesda.
well, whoever did the voice actors for the protagonists, they should not have done the voice actors for the protagonists.
Yeah.
Well, I guess the issue with the voice actor for the protagonist is they're recording so many lines. But that's
then
no
you go to
excuse, though, is it?
Divinity, Original Sin 2.
Yeah, that's right.
and
That's what I
you're
was about
just
to say.
Okay, I guess they just cared. I guess Larian Studios just gives a damn.
I mean,
guess
with
that's
that
the
game, I think
But
part of the reason why I
there's
haven't
so
put
much
that much
heart in it. There's so like the dogs and the rats and the chickens and the characters, and they're all voice acted with just such energy and passion, and they care. It's like you can't accidentally act out like a dog's voice in this game, because of the the sounds they make and how doggy they are.
Yeah,
you
I
can't
think
do that if you
I
don't
need
care
to
about
just-
it.
Jeez.
You know?
I think with that game, because I haven't put much time into it yet, I just really need to sit down and focus on it.
Yeah, it's an
Because
adventure. I
it's
got
not
67
like I'm playing
hours in it
Overwatch
so far.
right now, and that's the kind of game I can just play without really paying attention.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
with Divinity
Well, that's
Original
what-
Sin 2, it's like I want to really focus.
You want to hear
And also
things
just
too.
'cause- Yeah, there are things that I don't really understand about it yet. Like I'm not really fully getting the combat at the minute, but I think that's something I'll
it's
figure out.
turn-based. It's turn-based, and
It's-
you
Oh,
get a certain
no,
amount of action points and action. Points
No,
and
no, no. I
stuff.
mean, like there are just a few things I'm trying to figure out.
You pick
'Cause
it
it's-
up. You'll pick it up pretty quick. It's pretty forgiving in some early parts for you to experiment.
Right.
But they fucked Glass
Yeah, but-
Cannon, so don't be that.
But on that Polygon review, how many
Which one?
pages is the review? The one that they did for Divinity Original Sin 2. Is it a single page review?
Yeah, you just scroll down to the end.
Well, this is I don't get this though. Why is it like with these reviews? They're always so short. I don't know why they're so short.
So
I
like
know,
this
but
game has this done.
It's like I'm
Yeah.
constantly like the game Divinity gets better as it goes because you get more things to do and there's more kinds of enemies. And I understand that there's something to enjoy at the beginning of games when things are fairly simple, and you don't have all this stuff. But it slowly but surely you just add to your arsenal, and you come across new enemies and new things are introduced. But it makes the game better. But before this turns into a hit piece against Polygon, because they gave Divinity Original Sin 2 a 7 out of 10. Super Chat said,
Get to the
Nicholas
Super
Rios
Chats.
gave $2. Fuck me in the ass, Papa Frittati, apple blend, and ragu. So, there you go.
Papa Fritti, what?
Papa Frittata,
Okay.
apple blend, and ragu. So, there you go.
Hey.
Yeah, I love salad there.
That's a nice.
He wants to get sandwiched in every sense of the word. K. Wolfer gave $2. Rags, thoughts on traps, gay or nay? Traps are, if you know the trap
They're
is a
gay.
guy, it's a gay. If not, then it's not. Then it's pretty simple.
Let's
kinda
move
funny
on
'cause,
before we get into.
Tidy Cats,
This is
15.
fun.
Oh, Tidy
Okay.
Cats gave $15. Bought a year's sub to Brazzers so I could save $15 a month and give it to Rags. Hell yeah. That is some money well spent, Tidy Cats. I don't think anybody on Earth would fault you for that. Thanks very much for the $15 and enjoy your browser subscription for the both of us. Frantic gave $10. Hey Rags, low on money. Sorry, I can't donate more. Make sure to tell Barry that I'm still very thankful until Fritanga, you're wrong, with the incorrect spelling being intentional. Good night, heart.
That's a meme. That's a meme on a Twitter person who's always fucking. He has nothing better to do with his life, so he's always just commenting and retweeting everything I put on Twitter. And he got into a little argument with someone, and he told that person, "You're wrong," without the ER, just the your.
Y-O-U-R. His wrong.
And so since
My
then,
pet peeve.
so since then we framed it and we put it as our banners, and he's all me. It's the greatest thing ever, and he thinks he's my rival or some shit, and I kind of feel
He's the
insulted.
obsessive one. I gotcha. All right. I gotcha. Totally fair, but thanks very much for the $10, Frantic, and don't be sorry you can't donate more. Don't be sorry at all. I appreciate anything that you can give, so I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Oh.
Master Gray, 25,
Alright.
$5. Hey Rags, what do you think of The Evil Within and The Evil Within 2? Would you recommend it? I barely played The Evil Within 1, so I can't speak much about it. As for The Evil Within 2, I'm about 7.5 hours in, and so far it is quite good. And I would definitely recommend it if you like survival games or Resident Evil games or, third-person action stealth RPG mixture blends. But thanks for the $5.
Quick time?
Huh?
Is there enough quick time events in it?
I only have.
love me some-
Honestly, I've only seen like maybe one. I think one, and it wasn't like cutscene quick time events. I think it was like, oh, this thing has pounced upon you. Press these buttons to free yourself, and then you do. And it's only happened like once in 7.5 hours.
I think that's like
so.
the proper
Okay.
way to do quick time events.
Yeah, quick time events should be used to the physical action that you're doing should and somehow try to put you in the mood of your character is straining or something like
Yeah.
that.
Like Resident Evil 4 is one of my favorite games of all time because it at least
It's
when
still
it
done
does
fairly
those quick time
well, yeah.
events. Yeah, it does it very well.
What about those boss battles where you just don't even know when it's coming?
Oh, Halo 5's
Two
boss
boss
battle was
battles.
great. The final boss
Oh,
battle
yeah.
Halo 5 was genius. I mean, like, no
Oh, yeah.
game can compare. It's fantastic.
Caleb
I do love
Bohr,
how,
$2.
sorry.
Gambling is when you put up money to make money.
No.
Thanks for the $2, but you're wrong.
Nah.
Gambling does not have to
Nah.
require money
No.
at all. Ideally, you can, if by that logic, buying a car to go to work is gambling. Just because you're spending money in order to make money doesn't make it gambling. Gambling doesn't even have to involve money.
Gambling is
normally-
all about the risk, really. That's
it really
the main
is.
factor.
The colloquial sense of gambling normally does imply that there's money, but that doesn't mean that's really what it necessarily encompasses. But thank you for the $2 anyway. You're still wrong though. Trigun 198, $5. Love you, Daddy Rags. Well, I think of you as a great friend. So there you go.
Oh.
I really like you.
Love starts at $20. But thank you very much, Trigun. Pyrrhus
I love
gave-
you. Thank you.
Pyrrhus gave $5. Free money for Rags. Thanks very much. I appreciate that, Pyrrhus. A victory on your part. Wireless Trees, $1. I saw your comment in the chat. I read it. Yep. $1 from somebody. Message retracted. So thanks for the buck, whoever you are. But your message has been retracted. Anthony Laterza, $2. Love you, Rags. Hope to be as big as you one day. Well, I mean, that's a pretty lofty goal, but more power to you. JKB. Also, I hope you get to have a really big YouTube channel as well. JKB Scopes 123 gave me, I guess that's Australian, $5. I just tweeted a vid at you. It is a good video that loot boxes are gambling. All right, I will check that out. But I agree. I do agree with the idea that loot boxes are gambling. Whether you feel like it or not, they are. Jesus Salazar gave $2, 2D over 3D. Well, I guess we know what part he, or no, right there. All right, 2D over 3D. But that's a discussion for another day. I'm sure appabend would love to have with you. Snowstorm, $2. Just pirate it. Depends. But that's I'm not going to encourage.
For the
that you
record,
pirate
it has
something.
already been cracked.
Yeah, so
For the record, Middle of Shadow of War has already been cracked. So if you're
I'm
into
not
those sorts of
surprised
piracy,
at
well,
all.
you go ahead. Go ahead.
Aramalithia, $5. Glad to see you streaming, Rags. If Fringy was streaming this too, I would kick him something. Well, you missed out, Fringy.
Yeah, but I got a Patreon, man. You know, $1 a month, it helps.
Yeah,
like it
he's got a
really does.
Patreon.
A lot of people don't realize that $1 a month is actually really helpful if a lot of people do it.
Absolutely, $1 a month really
yes.
does help people out a great deal. Because
You know, like if 1/6 of my subscribers gave me $1 a month, I could do this full time.
if 100% of my subs gave me $20 a month, that would be pretty cool. So you guys get to that. Let's see. So thanks so much, Arimalithia. Raymond Noodles gave $5. I guess those are New Zealand $5. NZ. A good safeguard against loot crate gambling would be a cooldown system. Where you can only buy, where you could only buy a certain amount at a time, or
That would be really good of a developer to do, but would they do that? Is the thing we got.
What you're basically asking is you're telling them to put brakes on somebody giving you the gravy train.
Yeah, that's
And
right.
This gravy train ain't got no brakes, Rain Man.
You know, it'd be like the same if somebody went to the store and before they bought a game, somebody's like, "Are you really sure you want this? You sure you don't have anything more
It's
important
like,
to spend your money on?"
All right, Mr. Publisher, who's paying the bills and keeping the lights on, I've got an idea. It's called Make Us Less Money. As good of an idea as it is for probably some people who maybe should take it easy with the gambling, I don't see this as an idea as actually.
At some
being
point,
something
though,
people
you have to put the burden on the person who's actually gambling.
Yeah, I mean, it's can't save people from themselves.
No, don't you know that Overwatch is like the Dark Souls of gambling?
Yeah.
Ugh.
Tez X42, $4. Love the content, Rags. Loot boxes, oh boy. Loot boxes, oh boy, indeed. There's a lot of different opinions on it.
Oh boy, indeed.
Except mine's better than yours. Christopher Horde, $2. Also, best place to buy 1080 Ti in which version? I couldn't say as to the best place. Shop around for prices. They go up and down and sales come and go. But as for which version, I would recommend Zotac. They've been really good to me. So I would buy one in confidence. Even the used Zotac I had worked perfectly fine.
I heard your AMD card and AMD CPU got faulty?
it's I'm gonna what my plan is I got the part and I RMAing it because it had a bent pin, which is not a good thing. So they're getting that back, and I've heard that the new i7 or the i whatever it is, the 8870 or whatever it was, I've seen that it gets really a lot of good performance. So I think I might postpone this upgrade to see how that turns out, because if I'm going to spend all this money on like motherboard upgrade and CPU cooler and CPU, and all this is coming out and its performance seems to be quite, smashing, I might go ahead and just wait a little bit longer and see how that does. But
that's the Dark Souls of CPUs.
That's true. That's true. You got to be careful. Let me see.
Fred Ripper.
System of a game, $5. If a game has resellable items, then it is no doubt gambling. Games that don't have item resell, Battlefield 2, aren't really, or Battlefront 2, I guess, aren't really.
I think it's time for people to stop debating this point. Like, you're wrong. Sorry.
Yes, it is gambling. Whether it has a resellable item or not, it is gambling.
I do like this comment. Fat black women are the Dark Souls of prostitutes.
Well, that discussion is a stream all in its own right, and we'll host that on Bullet Berry's channel. So we'll get him into it.
The dirtiest channel on the internet.
That's true. That's true. Aramalithia sent $5 more. I feel Guild Wars 2 does microtransactions well, and that the things you can buy are not game breaking. They're primarily cosmetic.
Yeah.
Primarily,
Guild Wars 2 does it good.
But you also buy account upgrades, like more character slots and things like that. I think in technicality it's pay to win, but in practice it doesn't really affect it too much, so I'm not going to worry about it.
Guild Wars 2 is an MMORPG, right?
Yes, it is an MMO.
Or you pay subscriptions?
No, there's no subscription in Guild Wars 2.
Warren Pagel says Fringy's kind of an asshole. Kind of?
Man, shit. All right, well, I hate to do this on your own channel, Fringy, but you're going to have to leave.
I'm so sad.
Yeah,
I'm
Coachman, $2. Hey Rags, what are your thoughts on the new DB Merc? Oh, the Dirty Bomb Merc. Guardian. She is useful situationally. It depends. She's a good counter to Skyhammer and Javelin and even Fletcher. She has good primary weapons. But the problem is she is a medic, and her group revive can be very, very useful, but she has no healing potential. So I prefer Phoenix, because he has group heal, to her group group revive, and she can potentially be really good, though I've had better effect as a medic as others. She's like a medic assault. So I think she's good, though. I do think she's good and worth having, though. But thanks for the $2, Coachman. Trigun 198, $20. Oh shit! Will you accept my love now, Daddy? Yes, I will. Never let it be said I was not a dog of my word. Thank you very much for the $20. I really appreciate that. I was kidding until the point where you did it, in which case I became as serious as the grave. Thank you very much, Trigun. I appreciate that. Thank you. Oh, Aramalithia, $5 more. Fringy, I already support you on Patreon, but I would love to kick you more when you I like how they're paying me to talk to you.
No, that's
and
cool, man.
Before Rags really is the gatekeeper. Yeah. But anyway.
No, I mean, that's thanks a lot, man. I didn't know that. I appreciate it. Sorry, I can't see your name, so,
Right, so just kick me a couple more dollars, and I'll let Fringy know that you understand what he told you last.
Just give me some more money, and then
give me some more money, and I'll pass along your message. Femship 4, $2. Do you like MOBAs? And have you played Paragon? MOBAs are not really my thing. I haven't really played them, so maybe they like secretly are, and I just haven't discovered it. But honestly,
no, they're not your thing.
Okay, well, I've been told that they're not my thing, and so there goes that. And I liked a little bit of casual StarCraft back in the day. But I've not played Paragon. No, I have not played Paragon. JKB Scopes 123 gave me $5 Australian. He says Australia is the Dark Souls of real life because of the amount of deadly animals living here.
Well, yeah, it is.
Souls of real life.
I love that. I'm going to put that on my channel.
Dark
God damn.
Souls of real life.
Can confirm, Fringy.
It's no that
Well, yeah, that's right.
analogies about Dark Souls are the Dark Souls of analogies, I hear. So there you go.
God damn.
It's so easy to exploit for comedy.
It really
It is
Everything's
because
dark.
it's
Well,
the stupidest
it was
measurement of difficulty. I hate it.
Oh, did you guys see Jim Sterling's
I did.
I haven't watched Jim
Are
Sterling.
you talking about that
shit.
fucking video about like
Yes,
oh
I'm
Cuphead
talking about the
elitism?
fucking video he just did.
Oh,
Let's watch that if you want.
Oh,
I want
let
to
me-
watch
Let me
that.
pull this up real quick.
I have not watched it. This is news to me.
oh Jesus, it's awful.
Careful with the
Oh
links.
my
Careful with the
God.
links, Rags.
Yeah, you don't want Barry to accidentally show the links for like the 5th time. Oh wait, no, Barry's not here. We should be safe.
This is fucking ridiculous. This is a real thing.
This
Oh,
is a real
Oh my god. Is there a link to it? I gotta see this.
this is fucking retarded.
just like
It's
gun game
fucking awful.
for the Super
This is a real thing that he did.
What? Where is it? I don't. Oh wait.
I think the more depressing part is the number of likes it got. Like people saw that and were like, yeah, that's a reasonable argument.
13K up, 2K down, and I'm happy to contribute to the 2K down. This, I feel like I can catch cringe cancer through the internet.
Oh my.
This is
What is this?
Jesus.
I used to have a lot of respect for him as a commentator on the game industry.
I have to say, I lost a lot of it when he agreed with Adam Sessler that it's okay to
to
find
dox
someone's personal
people.
information and put it on the
Yeah.
internet. Like, oh,
Yeah.
don't give me that free speech having opinions. You know,
Yeah.
because then I can put your information out there. That's
Depleted and
reasonable.
defeated.
That's
It
logical.
really, and it don't
Fucking
even
hell.
give me that first.
You know the most
Amendment
ironic part
nonsense.
is
You
I
have every right
agree
to
with
say it,
the
and
I
have
agree
every
with
right
the
to call you a
satirical
fucking asshole
character.
and try to find your address.
Yeah.
Put it out there.
A lot of the things I agree with the satirical character. Like he doesn't really refute
Yeah,
it,
that's
just
right.
say.
Like, the satirical character says something. Yeah.
And defeated. Every right to say it, and I have every right to call you a fucking asshole
Oh,
and try to find
gosh.
your address. Put it out there.
Nodding his head. Yep.
that's fucked up.
Hey,
And like
hey,
that's
can you-
this
can
is
you
Him
send
and his stupid
this is
high
Can
actually
you-
fucked up.
Can you send a link, Rags, on that
To-
video?
To the
Put it on the general
to the
chat.
Jim Sterling supports doxing or to the Jim
Hey!
Sterling.
Crap gamers in the chat. Fringy
Lovely.
loves bitching about likes.
Is
No,
he the actual
what?
crap gamer?
Do-
or is
have
he-
I
Yeah, I
ever
don't
done that?
know. Let me check if it's the actual crap gamer. I don't think so.
I don't think
Probably
I don't think
not.
I've
Okay.
ever said that. So okay.
It's like,
Nope.
'cause what I
Alright.
don't do is I
Troll
don't block people on how about you show your PS4 to JTech and debate? It's definitely not the real crap gamer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Last thing the crap gamer wants to do is appear on my radar. Let's not be honest.
Oh, it's Sierra Ear. It's Sierra Ear.
probably.
Yay.
So we're
That guy's-
watching this Jim Sterling video.
No, we're not watching the Jim Sterling video.
No,
I'm not
I
doing
don't
that.
want to
Let
watch
me-
a Jim
I'll
Sterling
put it in your
video.
general chat there.
I mean, I have seen it. Yeah,
it's not. It's bad.
what I'm wondering
It's
though
bad.
is that when he was editing it, did
It's
he
only
not
5
look at?
minutes though.
But the thing is, when he was editing it, did he not think, "Wow, wow, okay, maybe I should stop now while I'm ahead."
It's like he had the wig and the makeup and the outfit
Yeah.
and I mean even it was I learned about it through Sargon.
Yeah,
And-
that's right. I did
Yeah.
as well.
And then I'm like, oh my god, Jim, this is low even for you. Like he's
I
talking,
mean,
he's making fun of
yeah.
all these comments, and most of them are like, yeah, actually, yeah. Like they're right.
This is something that I'm addressing in the Cuphead review that I'll be posting hopefully
Ooh.
tomorrow.
I'm just-
By the time, yeah,
Once I get back into
ne-
the swing of doing videos, I'm gonna do this one as well.
is a real
yeah, like I'm talking about I'm about to finish the Cuphead review, and this is what I'm talking about in the review. This idea that video games need to be accessible just on a difficulty basis, and I don't understand how anybody can think that that's reasonable. Video games are interactive; they're meant to be a challenge. That was what they were initially supposed to be. And if you tell a developer, like, difficulty is not just something that you should change all the time on a whim for the sake of including people who might not even be in danger of being interested. It's intrinsic to gameplay, and to tell a developer to compromise on it is ridiculous. They shouldn't have to do that.
It's weird that the people who don't make games have all the answers to what the perfect games are and what games should be.
So that's one of my biggest. That's one of my biggest problem. That's one of my biggest problem with most modern games is that they're just far too easy.
Well, that's right. It's just not fun. I mean, Cuphead has been so fun.
That's why I've been pleased with. I've barely played Cuphead really because I've got so many other games to play. But I'm happy with its difficulty. I'm not good at Cuphead at all yet. But even I like that it's difficult. And even the Evil Within 2 is fairly challenging too. Way more than I thought it would be, and I'm glad.
Doom on Nightmare difficulty was.
Oh, it's tough. It's tough.
I loved it though.
I like it too.
I loved it
but
so
it's
much.
Tough.
That's the thing, because once you if you make a game that anybody can play, like if you make a game that every single person can complete, it's not a game. It wouldn't be interactive at that point.
It's rock paper scissors essentially. It's
rock paper what?
Functional. Rock paper scissors.
Okay.
No, but that's I mean, the thing, because when I look at a game like Cuphead, that's a game that's intrinsically difficult. It's not a game that you can necessarily make easier without straight up cutting content.
Yeah.
Which I think is what they did with the simple mode. Because, what are you going to do when a boss transitions into a... Yeah. Oh, no, I played it. It's super easy. I find it insulting.
The boss battles... Are they just easier because they make less attacks, or because you have more hit points,
a lot of the bosses won't transition into different stages, and because
okay.
the way that the difficulty works is that all the bosses go through stages, and on expert difficulty, which I played through several of the levels again on expert difficulty.
Fuck.
Well, no, dude. If I'm gonna make a review, then I'm actually gonna go back through and replay the content somewhat.
But wouldn't it be easier to write an article on
No, you can't do that
about how
Polygon would hire you.
I remember what Top Hat said, like, I will never be a games journalist with an attitude like that. But I replayed through on expert, and what you find is on expert difficulty they'll have. When the bosses attack you, they have a certain attack, then they move on to the next attack. But on expert, they'll do both at the same time.
Yeah.
So, for example, you'll have to worry about like one of the frogs shooting these things at you,
that frog
and at the same time, yeah, it was. But it's even harder on expert because while he's shooting things at you, while he's shooting the projectiles at you from the bottom. The guy up top will continue to fire the things that hone in on you.
The beast.
And it goes in like a cycle on normal, but on expert it's at the same time.
Well, I'm just gonna play an easy game instead, like Dark Souls.
also on the Toads battle, when they throw coins at you, it's a lot faster.
Yeah, they throw 6 coins at you, and they're really fast. Yeah,
that thing is insane to finish in S. Oh, I struggle.
I have
so
got
much.
some S ranks, but I haven't got all S ranks, and I didn't beat every boss on expert difficulty. But I at least made an effort to go through and play them.
Effort.
I only got 2. Only 2 stages are in S.
Oh, shit.
Only 2 stages in S.
I have none,
but the rest, only 2 in S.
Did any of you ever?
Someone said Rags lied about having a PS4 to JTech. I took a picture of it, and I wrote a note by the picture that had my name and date next to it. What more do you want from me?
You need to mop. You need to mop that floor. There's a dirty floor.
Let me see. Oh, Kingslayer Damocles sent $5. He said Battletoads should be the measurement of difficulty, not Dark Souls.
Nah, Battletoads is broken. Just.
Dark Souls isn't even hard.
Yeah, no, Dark Souls isn't hard in comparison to a lot of games that were out back then. Because I was playing Battletoads on an emulator, and a lot of the difficulty to Battletoads is honestly in just some poor game design choices, in my opinion.
I hate games like that. Games that are difficult, not because like what you have to do is actually difficult, but because of some barrier that's in. But
a lot of it I've noticed as well is stuff like a boss having way too much health, so you just get impatient and then you get yourself killed. And thankfully, Cuphead mostly isn't like that. Yeah. This is going to be a very glowing review. It's going to be a really glowing review, guys.
Cuphead is how you handle difficulty because it is a difficult game, but it is not punishing in any way. It is fair, and if you lose, then you can jump right back into it with no penalty and try again.
Similar to like Super Meat Boy, you know, you die. All right, start again, do it again.
It's
Just
like-
do it
I
again
love
until you
Super
get it
Meat
right.
Boy.
Let's keep going.
Yeah.
Super Meat Boy.
Yummy
So
Fox.
did you guys all?
Yummy Fox gave $2. Will you play A Hat in Time? No, I will not. I don't have an interest in
What?
Hat in
No,
Time.
play it. It's so
play
good.
it. It's,
No,
I
I'm
love
sure
it.
it's great.
Cute.
I'm sure
It
it's
is so
great.
good.
I'm sure it's great and cute. I'm certain it is. I don't have.
is.
I
I
got
don't
other
have a
games to
desire
play.
buy more games now. Like really, I just don't
Faggot.
have any desire right now to play or buy any more games. I just
I
need to
don't
finish.
blame
I'm very
you.
sure it's not too long though. It's not too long though, as far as I heard.
No, it's not
that's a
very
shame.
long.
I like them long. Dyson. So when we talk about the, I think that's it for the super chats at the moment. So thanks everyone who has sent me something. Oh, did you see this shit? Did you see this fucking bullshit? Orc slavery
Whoa.
made me quit Middle Earth Shadow of War.
Wait, what?
What?
This okay.
Are you serious?
I'm not
No, no,
shitting
no.
you. This
Tell
is
me
a
the
real.
link.
This is
Tell
a
me the
real
link.
thing on the planet Earth where we are right now. Motherboard.com. Motherboard.vice.com by Matthew Galt.
No.
Orc slavery made me quit Middle Earth Shadow of War. When is my rest? He begged. I pulled him
The
close to me,
retardation.
dominated his weakened mind, put him in my orc stable, and immediately shut down the game.
Whoa! Whoa! Humble Bundle is now owned by IGN.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Rip.
No way.
Yep, Humble
yes.
Bundle is now owned
Some-
by IGN, so I hope you guys got your money's worth out of it while you could.
So it's no longer a humble bundle.
Fuck.
Now it's horse
Now it's,
manure,
what-
cancer, AIDS. From outer space.
rape is
yeah.
How is this an article that someone wrote? Like,
No, this
who
is what
thinks
game.
like
this is what games journalism is. Let me
Oh.
see.
Well, I mean, if you're not looking in the right places, this is what games journalism is. Holy shit.
Have you guys checked out the satirical game journalist account?
Yeah, it's
been
great,
very
isn't
good.
it?
It's fantastic.
It's amazing.
Wait,
I
wait.
love
Is there any comments on that article?
I don't.
anything?
What do you think?
I wouldn't be surprised if comments aren't even allowed.
I don't think there are comments. There doesn't seem to be comment sections. There's just share on Facebook, tweet this out, but don't fucking comment here, you piece of shit.
I've
Yeah.
noticed that a lot more websites are doing that.
Yeah. I mean, there's a Vice. Oh, yeah, that's right. They're Vice. Vice shut down their comments. All their comments. Yeah, that's right. Because
Oh,
to
of
prove
course.
how correct they are, they fucking shut down comments. Yeah, but yeah, don't. Orc slavery made me quit Middle Earth Shadow of War. Quit life because
Serious?
real life is slavery. How about that? How about we be consistent? Fucking stupid. Matthew Galt, go. I'm not going to say go and kill yourself, but
Yeah, yeah.
Go kill a slave.
That's
Go kill a slave.
that's literally PewDiePie's response. Next up is quit your life because slavery
yeah,
exists.
fucking shit. Yeah. Just don't wear a seatbelt ever.
Rape is good.
Rape is good.
Rape is good.
Uh-oh.
Matthew, fuck, who is?
Uh-oh.
Imagine it's like you can't play any game with his attitude. You can't play any game. It's like Mario's about turtle murder. You confiscate their
No,
houses
did you
and
not
then you
see-
kill them with it.
Did you see that article? Dog, shut up. Did you see that
Hey,
article
hey,
someone
whoa,
wrote?
whoa! It's my stream.
Dog, I
Oh
will
my god,
beat you.
no.
Shut up.
Oh
Oh,
no.
whoa now. Hey,
Okay. Anyway, so I was saying, did you read that article? For the fuck's sake.
the
Jesus.
Okay.
Take your fuck.
Rags, you can speak dogs.
Okay. So I was saying, did you guys read that article where someone was literally offended because they gave Mario a poncho and a sombrero?
Yeah, apparently it was
it's
even
not-
though though everybody in Mexico fucking loved it because they felt like they were being recognized. All the
Well, I mean,
all the white
ponchos
people in
are
America,
Guatemalan.
all the white people in
Ponchos are
America
Guatemalan.
were,
Hey,
were
you know, they
fucking-
still got... Are you talking about the sombrero, sorry, from Super Mario?
yeah.
Yeah, no,
Obviously.
they still got it in the
Oh.
live action trailer, though. They still got it in the live action trailer, so, you know, all good.
Oh.
The less fucks
Yeah.
that Nintendo gives to these people, the better.
Oh,
Because it's just
Well, I
like-
mean,
yeah,
you
the live action trailer was pretty damn good.
Oh,
for
it's
Super
great. I
Mario
mean,
Odyssey,
I'm
by the
so
way.
excited for this game. I'm so excited.
I haven't seen it. I don't have an interest in Nintendo stuff for the most part.
yeah,
Much
it's been a
less
while
Mario.
since I had
It's
interest
not-
in
it's
it.
What
not
about
even Mario.
Metroid, though? What about Metroid?
I don't.
Well, I mean, I have Metroid on my 3DS, the new one that came out. But other than that,
It's excellent.
It's. Did you get a little tired of the repetition of the same enemies?
Yeah, probably could have used a bit more variety for the bosses.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I got
it
so
wasn't great,
I got
but-
so sick of seeing the same enemies everywhere.
Yeah,
And
no, I get
all
that.
The same attack patterns. I think what I enjoyed was the exploration.
Yeah, that was the best part of it.
That was easily the best part of that. 10 hours was pretty decent amount of time for that game, but I'm gonna play it again. But it's so stupid because Nintendo put a harder difficulty behind an amiibo. So you have to go out and you have to get a Metroid amiibo.
That's
You have to
great.
get a Metroid amiibo to unlock the next difficulty, and that's where I see. That's
No,
why
I think
Nintendo
you can
accused.
still play on New Game Plus. I think New Game Plus is equivalent. I'm pretty sure the fusion mode is just with the suit. That's the main change, I think.
No, the higher difficulty
Oh,
is locked
okay.
behind an amiibo.
No, I
So
think
that's-
you can still play on hard difficulty though. I think you can still do like New Game Plus.
Can you?
I think
Well,
fusion
if
mode
you
is a
lock-
different separate
Well, that
thing.
reminds me of the Metro Last Light thing, where the true,
Yeah,
the true
yeah.
mode, true Ranger mode
what
was
kind of
DLC.
about recent
Anyway, Michael Rodriguez sent in $2. He said, "Are you gonna play Fractured?"
Think
But
about the recently Japanese game.
What
I'm
is
hurting
that?
What is that?
I'm
Yeah, I hear
hearing
something.
Hearing some Japanese game.
Oh,
thing.
sorry. I
Papa
was
Ben,
playing a
stop with
video.
your hentai.
You
Damn
need
it.
a,
I
you
was
need
playing a
headset,
video.
bro. Like a normal person.
I'm wearing a headset.
Ugh, that's crazy. Then
It's like when Barry doesn't wear a headset. I'm like, Barry, why are you not wearing a headset?
Michael Rodriguez
I
sent
am
$2.
wearing a headset.
He said, "Are you gonna play Fractured Butthole?" Fractured
Yes!
Butthole.
Yes.
It looks
Fractured
pretty.
I'm
But-
not.
Day
but
one.
A lot
Day
of people
one.
are super into that. I'm not one of them.
I am.
But yeah,
Mm,
I'm not gonna be one of them.
I look forward to playing on very hard difficulty because of the
Yeah.
skin slider. You heard about this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love how I love how pissed Polygon got over it because they didn't understand they were being played like a fiddle.
Yeah.
They
The
played
instant-
us like a damn fiddle.
Really though,
See,
it is-
that's-
they have no self-awareness, none.
Look, I mean, when
They're
it comes,
worse. They are Polygon is worse than orc slavery.
see,
The Inticus
You know,
paid
Speaking of
$5.
controversy,
yeah.
as much
Okay,
respect as I've. Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I
Inticus
think
paid
I let Rex
$5.
the-
Yeah. Part of the reason games used to be so difficult is because they were going off of the arcade mentality that wanted you to keep pumping quarters in.
See, I think that's why I like the
I think
Sega
we-
Genesis.
How
the Sega
many
Genesis had more
how many
arcadey
arcade
feeling.
games have you guys beaten though? Like legit stand-up arcade games, put the quarters in.
one.
About like
One.
20,
I've only
because I used to
beaten-
play in
I-
arcades a lot.
I never really
Then-
played arcades.
I never really played them. The only
That's-
only one I did ever play and beat, it was with my uncle. We beat House of the Dead 2. Yeah, I think it was at a place called Nickel.
Actually, I beat 3. I beat 3. So, just counting.
No, I used to play House of the Dead, Time Crisis, fucking.
I beat
Bub-
Time Crisis, Time
I
Crisis
never
3,
beat it. I don't know if you
4,
can beat
and
it.
House of the Dead 4.
but I was quite the crazy taxi driver back at the American
Taxi.
Pie Pizza.
Crazy Taxi.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Taxi
But thank you
driver.
very much for the $5, Vienticus. But maybe that's very true. Earlier on, I could absolutely see that mentality still being carried into the you die a lot because we need your quarters. It was extorting children as well.
Oh god, don't give modern game developers ideas.
Yeah, we need. No, they already have the idea. We need your quarters. After we need your $60, we also need your quarters.
Would you guys be like surprised if eventually some mobile games implemented a mechanic where you had to pay for extra lives?
I
think
think some
they-
games
They already
that.
are, I think.
Because if there are, I wouldn't be surprised.
There
but
are mobile games where they're like, "Do you want to respawn? You have to watch this advertisement."
No. There are actually mobile games. They are free at first, then you have to pay for like the additional level. Literally.
Jesus.
And sometimes the way that we see that difficulty spikes, I saw that in Plants vs Zombies 2 on the iPhone. I really liked the first one, and then I bought the second
it's
one.
pretty
And the
good.
first couple levels were like really good, and they weren't like too hard or too easy. And then all of a sudden, boom, give us money because you're not going to beat this
Yep.
without it.
Yeah.
And I was just like,
What's
there's
this-
no way. I used all my bonuses and all my cooldown things, and I just couldn't beat the level. It was just insane. Clearly, the game is like, give us money so that you could progress. And like, oh, well, there's a series ruined. Zemo gave $1, and then another $1, and then $2, and he says, #Orcs Lives Matter. And they do. Orc slavery is bad, MK. And K. Wolfer gave $1. So thank you very much, K. Wolfer and Zemo. And Vienticus and
Orcs
by the way,
live matter.
I want to ask though, because Wolfenstein 2: The New Order is coming out, and what
Yeah,
do you guys
that's
think
right.
of the way they? What do you guys think of the way they advertise the game? Like,
I don't think that it's any
Well-
problem. I mean, I don't see why people are getting so fucking worked up about it. It's Wolfenstein. You shoot Nazis.
It's like what
Okay,
we've been
here's-
doing for 20 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so when it comes to Bethesda, I've lost an incredible amount of respect for them recently. But when we're living in a game in a time where the game industry is offended by Nazis to the point that they're pulled from Call of Duty World War II, and I believe that's for online mode, that the
Yeah,
swastikas are pulled out.
From what I heard,
Right?
there's no swastikas in multiplayer, and even
Fuck.
I heard the Germans didn't have German accents.
what?
It's weird because
That's going to be mercy
there's
breaking.
a map called Aachen. I think it's what it's called, Aachen, Aachen, and
Yeah,
it takes place
Unless
in
the
the
game takes
German
place in
city.
America.
It takes place
Yeah.
in Germany in World War II, in Germany, in World War II in Germany, during the Second World War in the country of Germany, where it takes place. And you're
Right.
fighting Nazis who don't sound German, and your characters refer to them as Axis and not Nazis, which seems strange.
Oh, come on.
But the
I
big
mean,
red
well, you know,
banners with the
here's-
white circles on them hanging off of the colonnades of Romanesque
Yeah.
buildings in downtown Germany in the 1940s, they had iron crosses on them. They didn't have swastikas on them.
Yeah. Well, you know, the mentality of a gamer is, you know, there's Nazis, they're bad. I shoot them, but the mentality of the developers are Nazis are bad, so you shouldn't see them.
Meanwhile,
yeah.
you're
I think
gunning
the
people
issue-
down with machine guns, and you know,
Exactly.
God
I think the
forbid
thing-
people see a swastika.
I mean, to be honest, with this whole Wolfenstein thing, I've seen more people complaining about the so-called, like, neo-Nazis complaining about it. Like, I've seen more people complaining about the neo-Nazis than the actual neo-Nazis complaining about the game. So it happens every time. Like, where are these people who are complaining about it? I don't see them.
Yeah.
I think people want Bethesda to like take some sort of an anti-alt-right stance or something. And
Oh, best
Bethesda-
part as well is that one of the characters in Wolfenstein 2 is like a very pro-communism southern like resistance leader. There's a cutscene where BJ and this dude are arguing over like politics because this guy is basically a communist and BJ doesn't like communists clearly. And I was like, oh wow, that's interesting. I wonder if anybody who's complaining about this game has even paid attention to the fucking game.
It's like it's retarded when you're Bethesda and well I could have just ended the sentence there, but when you're Bethesda and you make a series about shooting Nazis and it's like 15, 20 years old or whatever, and then you have to come out and like, yeah, we're doubling down on our anti-Nazi stance. It's like, thank you for clarifying, Bethesda. I didn't catch that from the 20 years of shooting Nazis in the bridge of the nose. But thank you for clarifying that. It's like, if anything, like Wolfenstein: The New Order, and I still have to beat it. I'm close. I need to beat it. But I mean, they're very clearly. It's not exactly a morally ambiguous game. The Nazis are clearly not the good guys. In it,
And it's your job to shoot them.
Yeah, there's not a lot of sympathetic Nazis. It's
I
clearly
would say
a
that
game about
what they
killing
did with the game is kind of similar to the way I look at Narcos, where they sort of humanize the bad guys, but they don't make them the good guys. They're not sympathetic.
yeah.
You
I think
understand
the show-
them a little bit more,
yeah.
but they're still the bad guys. You know what I mean? Like, they're not...
Yeah.
They're people that you fucking hate. They're just giving them depth. And that's not the same thing as making them sympathetic.
Yeah.
Jay Caesar
Yeah.
sent $5. He said, "Have you seen the women boycott Twitter hashtag that's trending on Twitter? I think
I love the
it's just gold."
oxymoron. I love the oxymoron there.
I love it.
It's like, why is it called boycott? And it's, okay, gotcha, whatever.
Boycott. All right.
Okay, whatever.
Girl
That's
caught it.
great. Oh no, less women on Twitter for a day. Oh no, whatever. No, don't. go,
Hashtag
please.
women boycott Twitter. The
Come back.
hashtag is spreading by Twitter.
Fantastic.
Anyway,
Great.
so yeah, women won't be around for a day or something. I guess I don't know. Oh no, please don't go. Come back, please. Let's see. Let me look at chat here. Let's see. Anybody want to buy a red hijab? Why do I read my chat?
A red hijab.
Narcos is the Dark Souls of Netflix shows. Nazis aren't bad. They're just misunderstood.
Hitler did nothing wrong.
Historically speaking, the Nazis were more tolerant of Africans than Americans were.
That doesn't sound right to me.
That doesn't
Sorry.
sound
Yeah.
right, historically speaking. Especially because after World War I, they made it illegal for interracial marriage was made illegal, as well. But I'm not saying anybody looked. Well, I'm sure they weren't very on the greatest of terms. But I don't know. I mean, at this point, you're measuring
obviously-
which one is the least worse. In which case,
And
that's
yeah, that was more accurate because they definitely didn't like Slavic people. They disliked them a lot more than black people. But that doesn't mean that they were buddies with black people.
Yeah, like, do you think that they cared that the Jews were white people? No, I don't think they cared at all.
Hitler did nothing wrong, and rape is good.
Oh man, that's going to be taken out of context.
Yeah, you're taking out of context. When I said Hitler was wrong and rape is good, what I really meant
What I really meant.
Hitler was good and rape
And
did
rape
nothing
was
wrong.
okay. Rape was okay.
Oh, okay.
Right, rape did nothing wrong.
Makes sense.
I will say the "Make America Nazi Free Again" tweet wasn't the brightest of moves. The thing is that in another time, in an alternate dimension, when not everybody is a Nazi who's right-leaning compared to Michael Moore, that would make sense as a tweet. But unfortunately, we live in a time where everybody who's to the right of Michael Moore is a Nazi. So
I mean, even Dan Harmon
isn't
said
there-
that 90 million Americans. Dan Harmon, the co-creator of Rick and Morty.
and they had that
Isn't
one.
there?
Wasn't it? It was who was that streamer? Drifter. Drifter was the one who said like 70 million Americans were raised, something like that. I don't know, something retarded like that. Same idea. Just go back to playing your stupid Call of Duty game, you child. Let's see. Let me see. Nazis were progressive guys. Nazis were fighting for social justice. So
Well, that's
they're-
right. I mean, they're
Nazis-
national socialism. You know, so
Wait,
all
Nazis
you need
fought
to
for social
do.
justical and communism. I mean, that's all about social
This is
justice.
you know,
As
all you
JonTron
sorry.
JonTron once said, they're communist.
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 That's what he said. He said that
Oh
the
yeah,
left are
Drifter
communists.
said. He said 1/3 of Americans are racist. I was like, speak for yourself.
How do they come up with these fucking numbers?
I don't know.
How do they?
A nice,
out of their
nice
own
round
one-third.
number. He
A
said
third
he
of
didn't
them,
have
90
an exact
million.
number. He was just kind of taking.
He doesn't
a
have
guess.
any number.
No,
he
he's just
doesn't
taking a
know.
guess. It's like 110,
Hitler got-
115 million people are racist. My
Hitler got rejected. Hitler got rejected from art school because he was black.
Look, well, you see it. The German art school in the 1930s. It was white supremacist. It was white supremacist capitalist patriarchy, regardless of what history tells us. The next 1 out of 1 Americans are racist. I was going to binge rags, then I saw this. Broke the play button. Yeah, boy.
Someone says 45. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
45.7% are racist.
Yeah.
Fair enough. That sounds about right.
84% of statistics are made up. Oh, okay. Yeah.
200% of statistics are true. That sounds about right.
4 out of 5 people enjoy a good gangbang. Was Hitler wrong?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, but was Hitler wrong though? Do you
I don't
agree
like
that Todd
Hitler.
Howard would find a way to add Skyrim as a pre-order bonus to Wolfenstein? I have no doubt in my mind that Todd Howard currently has planned. Tom Howard, whatever, the liar named Howard. Todd Howard currently has plans to port Skyrim to the N64. I believe it with all of my heart that that's a thing. And we all know, we know how the old song goes.
I saw this
Would
Pennywise.
not believe your Todds if 10 million Skyrim mods.
Tell me lies, tell me sweet little lies.
Rags, please.
I saw that.
Senpai. Nope. Skyrim
I
is
saw
the
this
Wolfenstein
one-
of Dark Souls.
I saw this one Pennywise meme where it's the boy approaching the sewer and Todd Howard's in the sewer. He's like, "Hey, you want a copy of Skyrim?"
Skyrim. America is the Dark Souls of white supremacist capitalist patriarchies. Fallout 4 DLC Skyrim expansion. Don't mock it. It'll be a thing. There'll be a Skyrim Fallout crossover involving time travel and a dream machine, and it'll happen.
And if you're lucky, this loot box will have some horse armor.
Yeah,
there you go.
horse armor. I like it how horse armor was like universally hated by everybody, and then one of the first Creation Club mods was horse armor. It's like
they loved
you're
it.
not
Balls.
You're not
The
making
balls.
Yeah, it's like yeah, that is true. You've got a lot of balls, Bethesda. Just keep encouraging us to not buy the next whatever it is. Just keep fucking giving us the reason.
Creation Club's genius, though. I mean, it means that the creators get paid, right?
Yeah. Gamer Hoofster Pony gave $10. Love your rags. Thanks very much, Gamer Hoofster Pony. We're in the banter section of the podcast right now. That donkey vid when somebody mocks Todd Howard, Michael Rodriguez, $2. Video game donkey.
Hey,
man.
did you guys watch Donkey's video on graphics?
No, I haven't.
No.
Okay. So one of the arguments he says in the video is that simplistic graphics in a first-person shooter help reveal where the enemies are and makes the focus on the action much better, because he was comparing Halo 5 and it was too graphically overwhelming in comparison to Halo 2.
Yeah, that's
But
true.
then
Because
I'm sitting here wondering, how the hell did he play Doom 2016?
no, but the way that this is something that I've actually sort of looked into because I find it interesting. But if you watch some of the early behind the scenes stuff on Team Fortress 2, they talk about the silhouette of the characters. So they deliberately design every single character so that they're distinct and they're immediately recognizable from a distance. You see a big brooding guy. It's like, okay, that's the heavy. Like and I think it's the same with Overwatch as well. Every single character has a unique silhouette.
Right.
I mean, it's a bit different with some of the female characters because they're a little bit more similar than the men, but they all still have a unique profile that you can immediately detect from a distance.
And it's not.
And
it's
that's
a,
the
it's not a
reason
game
why
where
it
you see
works.
people at very long ranges either. So normally,
Yeah, that's
that
right.
helps. But
It's
as
more
far
that
as that's a
it's
problem I had
easy
with
to-
Call of Duty World War II. It was hard to tell. And it wasn't necessarily silhouettes, it was camouflages. The way that the characters were camouflaged and the choices that you had made it confusing sometimes who was on your team and who wasn't. There were times when
Wasn't
an
that
enemy...
intentionally so?
Well, I don't know. Like, there were times in the game, in a Call of Duty game, where an enemy would waltz right in front of my reticle, and I would just be like, oh, that's a friendly. Because his camo would be similar to one of my friend's camos, and I just wouldn't shoot him. I legit would just not shoot the enemy, and it takes me a second. I'm like, oh shit, that's the bad guy.
Yeah, I had that problem with Battlefield 1 on a few maps.
Battlefield 1 has that. It has the problem.
It's hard to tell enemies from comrades sometimes, for me anyway.
It depends on the teams you are playing. Sometimes when you have when the Ottomans are fighting the Brits, for instance, one is a brown team and one is a white team. The Ottomans clearly have an obvious, recognizable white uniform, and the Brits clearly have this brownish hue of their, they instantly recognizable. I don't remember it being an issue in any Battlefield, really. But I know in Call of Duty I had an issue with it, and in, let me see.
PUBG?
Know in PUBG, no, in PUBG I never had that problem. It was pretty easy to tell what people had on and who they were. But in PUBG it's a little different because anybody who is not one of us needs to die.
That's
Yeah, I mean,
the PUBG mentality is simple.
98% of the players in PUBG you shoot at anyway, and it's obvious.
Shoot on sight.
Yeah, and you're used to. I mean, I never had that problem in PUBG. you see something moving, you know they're not, friendly.
Oh, has anyone ever tried Fortnite?
Yes,
I have,
I
have
played
not
it.
played it
I
yet.
really like it. Really enjoying it.
I've heard it's been
Haven't played
really
it.
good. Let's see. The
Oh,
Inticus.
that's it?
I
That's all you're gonna say,
thought you had a
appabend?
follow up to it.
Yeah.
No. I'm just asking because
Oh, yeah.
everybody's
Have you guys played it yet? I'm like, no.
No,
That's it.
I played like the first 2 missions of the alpha a long time ago, and that's it. Not my thing. It's an interesting concept, and I've heard it's really good, but it's just not my thing.
Yeah.
JKB
Did you guys
Scopes,
ever? Sorry, go ahead.
JKB Scopes 123, $5 Australian. How not to die in Dark Souls. Step 1, get. Step 2, good. Step 3, buy 100 sets of horse armor equals victory. Fair enough.
Okay, good. There we go. He ended it with something.
Vienticus $2. Arby's is the Dark Souls of fast food.
Get more creative with that meme, please. Come on.
I don't follow exactly. Oh,
Maybe
Mr.
stale.
LMG, Australian $50. Sorry, I'm late to the party. Thanks very much, Mr. LMG, and it's good to see you. Thank you very much. I really do appreciate that. Thank you. Someone said PUBG is Skyrim with autism. That's not right. No.
Someone says I had sex with my pet Road. Is this pedophilia?
Only if you're an anarcho-capitalist. Michael Rodriguez, $2. You want difficult? Try playing COD online.
Rags is the Dark Souls of faggots.
Fringy is the Dark Souls of PC gaming.
PUBG is the H1Z1 king of the hill. Yeah.
Can we just use pub?
I've heard Plunkbat is what I hear. I also hear Plunkbat.
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 What?
Bat.
Player
Plunk-
unknowns battle. Plunkbat.
Plunk bat.
I like Plunkbat.
That is
Pretty
not
good,
right.
yeah.
I do like Plunkbat. Rags, make porn on your avatar. People have already done it.
It already
there you go.
exists.
It already exists. People have already done it. The other day in a Discord channel, somebody that I've never heard of drew me getting railed by another YouTuber named the Dishonored Wolf. So
Actually,
There you
someone made a rather provocative picture of me here. I'm gonna put it right here for you guys.
that's
It's
all right.
in the Discord.
That's okay.
In the Discord.
Okay. Well, that's
Not
Okay.
of actual
You
me.
bet.
Actual.
Well, Fringy, I hope you liked your Discord. It was so pure.
It
Someone's
was.
saying PUBG is boneless Arma 3. Well, Arma 3 has its own problems to worry about. Todd Howard is the Dark
Oh, here it
Souls
is. Here. Go ahead. Look in the general chat.
Todd Howard is the Dark Souls of lies.
Oh, that's not. Oh, come on. That's not.
Okay.
That's not.
Oh, you should have seen the
safe.
one that
Could
I saw of
could
top
be worse,
hats. The one that I had for top hats. Draw me like one of your French girls, Fringy.
I don't have a public Discord. I never agreed to make a public Discord, people. I don't know if I'm gonna make one. Look, I have 250,000 subs, and what happens? I just like, all of us just make a Discord and everybody jump in. It's like
Rags.
no, I just
Rags.
Yeah,
Rags.
that's
You can
yes.
make money off Discord now. You can make money off Discord now.
So it'll be up tomorrow, and I'll send invites to everybody, and I'll get verified by all the channels, and it will be just a ding-a-dairy. It'll be great. Let's see.
If
We're
only I
just
could
gonna-
make money
but-
without the video.
By the way,
Yes.
Friggy, your drawing of top hat is pretty good. So
Oh, that was
talking-
accidental. That was completely
accidental.
unintentional. Dude, it was. I just put a mustache on, and then it's like, oh shit. This is why I draw women. This is why I
Todd
draw
Howard.
women.
Todd Howard is a sneaky Jew.
You see, the reason that you practice at art is because you will eventually get good enough to draw your own porn, and then you never have to pay browsers.
Oh.
Oh, you got me! Damn it! I would have gotten away for it too if it weren't for you pesking fucking
You
dogs.
sell you sell your character here commissions to furries for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars.
Oh man. I can't wait to play.
I saw an animation of it was a your character here commission for an animation, and people were bidding like $8,000, almost $9,000.
Wow.
jeez.
To have their
Jesus.
character in this animated your character here animation. And I was like, shit. It was like $8,600. And I was like, fucking shit. I mean, fair enough.
Well, in terms of animation, I got one for
but,
free.
Oh man.
In terms of animation, I got one for free, except it's not good.
That's all right. They can't all be winners. I'll tell you that. Let me see.
Oh.
Let's just go over this loot box stuff. It turned into a ramble stream, as all of them do. But let's see.
Yeah.
It's.
I mean, usually because the topics aren't that interesting, you know. So you got to just ramble on a little. I mean, how much can we talk about loot boxes till we?
Well, I think one of the things was we all kind of were in it. We're all smart, so we were in agreement for the most part. So I mean, it's not like we had someone in the stream who was convinced that.
Let's bring in Rambo. Let's bring in Rambo. He loves loot boxes.
What was his deal?
Oh, really?
What was his deal?
I forgot what it was, but
a lot of
actually,
it is, well,
actually-
games cost too much money, so there. That seems to be the common one.
All right,
You know, I
that's
told
dumb.
him. I told them, you know, GTA 5 couldn't have made it without them shark cards. Thank you, shark
Yeah.
cards.
Yeah,
Because if it wasn't for you, GTA 5 would have
Okay.
been a flop.
would have been a flop. Look, here's the thing:
Yeah.
nobody is asking you to make a $100 million game, and just because someone that does ask doesn't mean you have to say, well, "Okay."
Also, got to remember that a lot of the cost is marketing. It's not
Yeah.
even
What are you
the
talking
game
about?
itself.
Peasants are
Destiny's
always asking
marketing
for those
budget,
big
too.
budget games.
Yeah,
so-
Destiny had a huge marketing budget. That doesn't affect the game. That doesn't help me.
That's
the
just-
marketing budget.
That's just trying
You know?
to get money into sales more than you spent in the marketing. One might even call it gambling. No, but when you have these, I mean, look at when I look at the my favorite games, so many of them are not AAA games. Divinity Original
Same.
Sin 2,
Huh.
Vermintide 2 is going to come out. That's an indie game as well. Divinity Original Sin 2 is an indie game. Cuphead is an indie game. There's all these AA level games that are just so good. And I
Yeah.
don't need a $100 trillion budget for this game that looks like it's photorealistic and that has
Right.
microtransactions in it and that just isn't, that is generic and dull. It's like, look, for all the money
Yeah.
that was spent on The Division, like I play The Division, I used to, I need to get back into it, but me and 3 other people, we play Division, and I'm like, wow, this is a really amazingly good looking game, and so much work and detail went into it. But playing the game is so kind of boring. You know, I was like, why can't
Yeah.
the things that I do be more engaging? And
I had the same
Less
feeling of
repetitious.
Fallout 4. Yeah.
I mean, it's like, you see where all the budget goes, and you don't experience it. You're like, wow, look at all the things that they drew and put in the game, and look how pretty the graphics are. And then you play the game, and you're like, okay, I get that. I
Yeah,
got that
it's-
feeling for the Destiny 2 beta when I played it. I was like, wow, this game looks great. It runs really good. The controls are good, but I am super fucking bored
Yep.
because
Yeah, you know,
it's just not.
and it's really stupid also when console peasants try and guilt you with that. They're like, you're not appreciating all the budget and hard work that went into this game.
Who said
like-
that we're not appreciating it? Like,
And
we appreciate
well,
the
here's
effort.
the thing. Here's the thing. My job is not to appreciate just the aesthetics, you know? In fact, it's not even my job
you can
to
appreciate the
game.
aesthetics and still think the game is shit.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I thought Fallout 4 was a pretty decent looking
It
game.
is. It is a
but,
pretty decent looking
it's-
game, and it not necessarily on a graphical standpoint, it's fairly good, but really it's the
lighting
design
was
element. It's the
beautiful.
design element that's really good about
Yeah.
Fallout 4, and that's actually something that Fallout 4 legitimately did exceedingly well in. And I hope that the team who did the art design for Fallout 4 never quits Bethesda, or they do tomorrow and join someone who cares more. Because they did an absolute golden bang-up job.
Yeah.
Things like that, it deserves praise. And then you play Fallout 4 and you're like, this is a step up from New Vegas. How?
You know, did you guys read that article that New Vegas was supposed to be at least 3 times bigger, but consoles
Yep.
held back the game?
Consoles held it back, yeah. I mean,
I'm not surprised.
I mean, I
Not
first played New Vegas on a console. Same thing with Fallout 3, because that was back when I was an Xbox gamer.
I played it on the PS3. Horrible idea.
But then I'm like, I can't imagine how I played those games completely vanilla.
Yeah.
But I mean, if it's all you know, then
I
it's all you
can't.
know. But I mean, that's looking back, and hindsight's always in 2020. But now I was like, I could not have finished Fallout 4 without mods. So I don't know.
Same.
Well, I couldn't have actually finished it without the inclusion of the survival mode, the updated survival mode, because I actually rather enjoyed it.
Survival mode was garbage until I fixed it myself. Because what I did was there was a mod that using the Pip-Boy, you can change all of the settings for survival on the fly. And it lets you as you went through the game, you could balance it as you went, and I had to do a lot of that. So after about 2 hours, I really kind of nailed the balance of it. It was like enable this, disable that, enable this, disable that. Enable fast travel, but keep this up, and it would change the rates of food and hydration and sicknesses and things like that. And then you got that perfect mix, and I'm like, yes, this is good.
Yeah. Because the updated.
It's kind of interesting that a lot of Bethesda games basically have mods that modify the game's rules to your liking.
Yeah, and those.
Well, I mean, that's how they're designed to begin
with. A lot of the
with.
times, that's the best kind of mod. It's just something that adjusts the numbers of the game. It's like, by the way, there is 0 point using a double-barreled shotgun, so we're going to actually give it some, God forbid, balance, and give you a reason to use it. I'm like, oh, sweet, that's cool. I can actually use this weapon now because
shotguns are garbage in Fallout.
Well, it depends. I mean, double-barreled shotguns were. I mean, the default double-barreled shotgun, like the vanilla version, it was just a pointless weapon. Because in a game where enemies can be bullet spongy, having only 2 shots is just a liability.
Pipe pistols dominate, bruh. You have no idea. Pipe pistols are the shit.
Pipe pistol reskins.
It has lots of ammo.
Oh yeah.
It's
well, I mean,
everywhere.
I installed a mod that would pretty much allow pipe pistol ammo to be used in any gun because it's just so it's everywhere. So I'm just like, I'm gonna cheat the game.
Universal ammo.
It's universal fucking ammo.
There was no pipe shotguns by default, so that's also another mod. Also,
pipe shotgun.
I don't see how some of the I like how they look like cobbled together, but at the same time, I don't think someone who actually knew anything about guns designed the guns. Because I'm like, that makes no sense. That makes no sense. That makes no sense. That would physically hurt you if you used it. It's just like I don't get some of the things that they came up with. Like some of the stocks in this game are just like that would, like why does the stock end with like an actual nut that rests on your shoulder?
Yeah.
Why would that be? If it's weird stuff like
gun variation was so disappointing in Fallout 4, and especially in comparison to Fallout New Vegas, which actually had legit guns.
Well, I kind of liked what Fallout 4 did with the with like the pipe weapons, because I'm looking them up here. The mod that turns them silver instead of that weird yellowish color was a really good one that I have too. But I get it. Like I really get it. They have the exposed springs and the metalworks and stuff like that. That's cool. And then it's just like the trigger is just a screw, and the little sight is like a little like 2 screws screwed into a circle. Is like that's kind of cool. But I mean, it's one of those things where you just kind of have to. It needs help from the community in terms of mods to really kind of bring it up to what it needs to be.
I think a lot of the factors why Fallout 4's weapons are not diverse.
They're not balanced very well. That's the thing. The problem is that it's a game about numbers, and it's a game about it's kind of balance is very important, and I would prefer that. I don't. It's hard to kind of sum up. Really, I'd have to think about what wording I would want to use. But like this, like that is.
Here's the thing about Fallout 4's. Here's the thing about Fallout 4's weapon system. When you, it has like a base at first. It has only a few base and tons of variation of each. And apparently, the variation of each weapon, it's the variation of each weapon is the variation of each. And that's why Fallout New Vegas has lots and lots of new weapons.
Yeah, it takes so much balance that you have to apply to the game because Bethesda just doesn't know how to balance weapons. Because in a game
They don't know how to
without
balance
numbers,
RPG mechanics in general. Like,
They
in general,
really
they just
don't?
don't even know how to balance
Like,
RPG numbers.
like, look at how cool this modded, thing is right there. Like, this is somebody who did this because they cared, they gave a shit. Like, the scope is looking through a Nuka-Cola bottle. Like, cool stuff like that,
Yeah, that's awesome. I think the legendary gun system in Fallout 4 was about the laziest piece of shit I've ever seen
it's just
Bethesda
like
do when
some
it comes to weapons.
RNG application to a gun that you could pick up. And sometimes they would be just downright fucking broken.
And eventually you would just be able to get a perk that allowed you to put a legendary effect to a weapon, if I'm correct. I don't know if that was a mod or actually in the game, but I thought that was just like the laziest thing ever, especially when you play New Vegas.
Oh.
Like, I remember when I was playing New Vegas and what I had to go through just to get the All-American, which is one of my favorite guns in that game. It felt like you actually went out of your way to get this legendary gun.
You went online and you're like, where is the best this? And they tell you where it is and you have to go get it.
In New Vegas, I have a little
guns.
vault. Yeah, I have a vault in New Vegas in my casino room. And it's literally stashed with like the best guns you can find in the game. And I feel like, there's like a feeling of accomplishment when you do that. And in Fallout 4, you kill this legendary enemy, they drop a legendary piece of armor.
It's randomly generated. That's why it doesn't
just,
feel rewarding.
Yeah, because you're like, oh, I happened across this one weapon. I can rename it, but it's just
stupid.
like, it doesn't have its own like story to it. I didn't have to kill somebody to get this weapon. This special weapon. But I'm reading this art book thing, and it says, we approach these designs of the pipe guns from the point of view of a resourceful wastelander who knows nothing about guns, but is trying to make gun-like contraptions. So, I mean, still, you would think that after how many years has it been since the nukes were dropped in Fallout?
I know, right?
They would just bait the freaking thing.
Was it 200 years?
And then the whole ghoul kid, that just threw me off because in the Fallout lore...
I like how the stream devolved into a Fallout 4 bitch fest.
Well, because Fallout 4 is just
alright.
garbage. It's garbage. Come on, let's be honest.
With mods, it's actually a pretty good game. With mods.
Yeah, well, I mean...
You have to fix Bethesda's game. But once
the
you
thing
fix
is,
Bethesda's game,
games-
it's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, they designed it to obviously be modded, and I give them all credit for that, but the base game, there's just some people who don't care too much about modding, and they want to rely on the base game, and when it comes to that, it's just
like,
so fucking lacking.
This guy has an AK-looking gun, and it has the stock is the grip and handle of a shovel. And, like, that's the kind of thing that you'd expect to see, Like, that's cool.
It's even textured better than anything Bethesda textured in the
Also,
game.
the assault rifles make no fucking sense. This is I can't imagine that thing must weigh fucking 15
That a
pounds.
shovel handle? Is that a shovel handle?
Yeah, it's a shovel
at the end
handle.
of the gun.
Yeah, like that's kind of
That's
cool.
so stupid. But I mean, I know it's stupid.
Yeah, but it works. That's the case.
Yeah,
It's got this resourceful kind of look to it. It's like, we'll stick a shovel at the end into the hole at the end.
I mean, at least they give you at least Fallout 4 gave you a grenade button. There you go.
Yeah,
At least they give you a grenade button.
They did some things better, but even those things that they did better, they just were like, oh, why did you play test this? Like, did any of you play this game? Oh my god.
The way I saw it is every step they took forward, they took 3 steps back. That's how I felt about it.
Like, remember
we
that
got
deep RPG experience you got from other Fallouts? Well, fuck that shit.
I don't understand their mentality of we have to sacrifice RPG for better combat.
Yeah.
Why can't there be a mixture of both? Like,
they didn't.
The
have
Witcher
to.
3
They
did
just
it.
Decided that
There's no need. There's no need to sacrifice the RPG elements. I don't get it.
Less is not more, basically.
Yeah. Okay. Well, anyway, I'm gonna get going to work.
Yeah, I will.
I think
I'm
this
gonna go
should
ahead
be a
and
good.
I think I'm gonna go ahead and call it there. But that was a little chat about microtransactions, and then we bantered around for a bit, and it was very fun. So, thanks very much for everybody's super chats. I appreciate you guys sending those my way. Thank you very much, very much.
You didn't miss anything, right?
Huh? I don't think so. I'm
miss
going
anything?
onto the
Okay,
super
good.
chat thing, and Michael Rodriguez was the last one. So yeah, looks like I covered them all based on what it's telling me. So thanks everybody. I'll go ahead and I'll stream stuff later if there's ever anything to do. Maybe on Sunday I'll do a weekend gaming sort of thing if I have the time and the energy. If work hasn't just I'm actually looking into a new job, but because work is just wearing me out.
Same
so
here.
That is a great deal of what's to blame for lack of content from me. I've just been but I've got footage for videos. I got one that's actually mostly in the works and almost done, but I will get those out to you.
Can I do a shameless plug?
Huh?
Can I just plug my own?
Fringy, go ahead,
Cuphead Cuphead review tomorrow, hopefully. And I hope you all enjoy it.
How long is it?
Right now I've cut the audio and it's not as long as the last one because there's not as much to talk about. It's about 15 minutes.
The the Splatoon one was really good.
Thanks.
The squid one.
The squid one. No, but this one. Basically, I'm just gonna crunch on editing this one today. And if you're a patron, and this is me advertising my Patreon, you'll get it as soon as it's done. And everybody else, it will be published the regular time, probably tomorrow.
Yeah, well, everybody listening, you ain't getting shit from me. You can have to
okay. I'll conclude my own stream because thank you so much for joining the stream. I know I don't speak a lot because that's just me. I'm sorry.
No worries.
That's just me. That's fine. Thank you guys so much for joining the stream. If you guys are confused, I actually stole Rags' chat and put it in my stream. So sorry.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Fuck you guys.
Right. So I think we can wrap this up, guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for coming to watch, and I'll catch you guys later.
See you later,
See ya.
everyone.